40 years ago, we opened our doors with one mission in mind.
We'll be right back with the top 10 songs of 1983.
To sell quality American-made vehicles at a fair price.
You have arrived.
And we've loved every minute of the ride. Celebrating 40 years of Two Rivers Ford.
Good afternoon from the Superbook.com sports desk. I'm Joe Hunk, and the next thing we need to do is put some shovels in the dirt, as earlier today, if you missed it, the Metro Nashville City Council approved the Titans' brand new stadium in a 26-12 vote and will issue $760 million in bonds to help the stadium get built. It's going to cost about $1.2 billion, and it is expected to open for the 2027 season. The Washington Commanders have said, yeah, we're not going to spend that money on Chase Young. They have optioned to not pick up his fifth-year option, and he's only played in 12 games in the last 2 seasons, so you can understand why. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three, 104.5 The Zone. It is NFL Draft Eve. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Right, Babsy?
Let's go.
Woo! Babs has this whole draft thing figured out, at least the first round. We'll get into that in just a second.
I am jacked today. Aren't I?
Yeah.
God, I need to.
Yes, you are.
I need to chill.
No, ain't no chilling.
I am jacked.
No, ain't no chilling. Ain't no.
We just had a heated conversation. I'm like, why don't we have this conversation on the air?
Yeah, we'll bring it.
What are we doing?
We'll bring it. It's going down. I tweaked a little body movement.
Oh.
Something in my body.
What'd you do? I heard there was a party in the back of the room by the time Vrabel got on the stage last night. This is what I heard.
I walked by there at one time as somebody, I don't know who. Well, I do know who, but I will protect the innocent. Actually, the guilty.
The guilty,
yeah.
The defendant. I will protect the defendant.
There were many shots purchased at some point that I never saw.
Who would do something like that?
I don't know. I never saw them. They
All
were
I
gone.
know-
They were
So
gone
you
quickly.
didn't take them.
I just came with me and Yor came together, but I came also with imaginary friend Uncle Tito, who was already there.
Oh, jeez.
And he was full of it last night. Should have seen him.
Well, when we got there, so this is Team Kayla's event last night at the LLS event where we got there. So there was a panel of Nashville SC players with Will Bowling.
Yep.
There was UC Soros, who was awesome.
He was.
Yeah,
Really?
Slay
Love
at one
him.
point got a hold of a in-house mic and started talking to UC about how he played in Helsinki.
Threw that out there on him. Oh, man.
And
You were on fire last night,
Yeah.
Slay.
I
I heard you ask Braves, like, who he's picking out.
hang
Who they're
on,
picking.
hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get there. We'll
Talk
get
it
there.
down. All
Just
right.
saying, Babs.
I asked UC. I asked UC a question. It is too bright in here, by the way. I asked UC a question. Here's the thing about everybody in hockey has a nickname, and it usually ends in the E sound. So it's like, except for Pecorine is Pecs. What are you doing?
It's been making me nervous. I just asked me to come over there, Babsy.
I got it.
She is on the table trying to fix her lighting.
That's where you wanted it yesterday.
I thought you want Diane Sawyer soft light. I was wrong. She was wrong, she said.
Hey, clip that, huh?
Didn't you want Diane Sawyer
What?
soft light?
I can't hear her.
Oh, darn.
She said, yeah.
Oh,
Now
we
she's
heard.
messing with other lights.
Yeah,
I don't
come
know.
Babsy.
Y'all just talk.
Hey, man.
You know Slay can reach up there without getting on the table.
Yeah, like making this nervous. Look at her.
He doesn't do it right.
Look at her, man.
The picture I just took makes it look like Dawn's yelling at you guys because you guys don't like the pick that she's going to want the Titans to take at 11.
Well, we'll play that up. We'll play that up. But, hey, man, great event. Let's just hope Babs can get down safely. Oh, hey, dismount. Stuck it.
Okay, where were we?
Yeah.
Team Kayla.
Yes. Braves on deck.
Well, no, not Braves yet. So I
Okay,
asked UC
sorry.
SARS about nicknames because it's always like, I don't know, like UC's nickname is Juice. Like UC's name is actually a hockey nickname.
Yeah. That's pretty dope.
Because usually they put the E sound, like the Y sound, on the end of the name. So UC would be like a nickname. But anyway, so I asked him who has the worst nickname and who has the best nickname.
Did you?
But UC is like so buttoned up, like all those hockey guys are, except for PK Subban, which is why they didn't like him.
Mm-hmm. But Pekka unbuttoned his shirt when we were in the boom boom room when we interviewed him.
Yeah, but he is
You said that.
the nicest, most buttoned up guy
said that.
ever.
It was after his playing career, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So then we wrapped up. What did you ask UC? Like, you started talking about how you played basketball in Helsinki. And
Yeah.
then you lost me there. I was like, what?
What's Helsinki?
Finland.
Finland. Oh. We played a little and it was
You act like I should know that.
You should know where Helsinki, Finland is.
dark 24 hours a day.
Oh.
They go through a stretch.
Except when it's light 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and that's a real short time. I think it may get a month like that. That's it.
That is awful.
Yeah, so I was asking them, do you
could
adapt?
not say that it's a beautiful day in Helsinki.
Yeah, because it's dark. Seriously.
That's a beautiful night.
And that was my question. Like,
That's
how do
very
you
cool.
adapt? Like, when I remember when I was overseas, sometimes I would stay up so I could stay on American time, and I was asking them, do you do that over here? Do you let all the blinds down so it can stay dark so you can mentally think you're in Finland? There's a little Friday involved in this.
I'm sure he. I'm sure he actually appreciated that.
Yeah, and
you
then Matt-
knowing some history.
And
there.
then Matt Murphy asked a question from WTN. I don't even remember what he asked. But
Murph
he kept
was-
following you.
Yeah,
with
that was
questions.
bad. That was bad. You can't go after me, dog. Like, because
we can't have back-to-back bad questions.
no, his is serious. I'm not asking no serious questions.
No, and Slade dominated the room with this question. Like, I mean, everybody's laughing.
Just like leave it alone. Murph tried. Yeah, go ahead. It was good.
Well, I think Murph might have had a few of those shots that you.
Oh yeah, he most
purchased
definitely did.
later. How did that escape me?
It was a beautiful corner out there.
Meanwhile, I was fighting with Danielle Breezy on the silent auction items.
I didn't even see an auction.
Oh my gosh, Slay.
No,
Did you get
seriously.
anything? Did you win anything?
I tried to win Dave Matthews Band tickets, but then like a listener wrote that, like I could have beaten her, I think, but I let her have it.
Dang, I didn't even see no auction.
Come on, Slay.
I was at the bar.
Breezy gave me permission to sign her name onto one item, like to keep going, and then she gave me a limit. And then she ended up winning. It was National SC tickets. And she ended up winning, and I stayed under her limit. I was so proud of myself.
Good job, yo.
gosh.
Follow directions.
You know what? It's all for the kids anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Well, that's true.
That's what we say, and we always end up with something after all of these the charity events that I end up hosting.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, what do we donate tonight?
Yeah, exactly. So then Mike Vrabel comes up there with Rhett Bryan, and he's giving Rhett crap because Rhett's like, I thought you did this really well. And he's like, I'm glad you have an opinion, Rhett. You know,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
Braves is just
He was
that
on
guy.
fire. That's
He
what
was on fire. So then Slay asks a question, and Vrabel goes,
Now introduce myself first.
Yeah, he said, Coach, this is Ron Slay and blah, blah, blah. And Vrabel, like, cut you off to say, this is the guy with the famous parsley. I know all about that.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting next to Coach Mack, and I was like, Coach Mack, that was brilliant on Vrabel's part to let Slay know that he listens to the show.
Right. Like, watch yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
I know what you say.
No filter over here, Vrabel.
Right. And then Ramon Foster, then Matt Murphy asked a question.
Yeah. After I asked two, Vrabel told me you only get one.
And Vrabel made him re-ask the question.
Yep.
He did?
Yeah. Oh, it was kind of uncomfortable there for a second.
Not for me, Murph dog.
Yeah, for Murphy.
Yeah. But Murph tried to be serious.
Murphy doesn't care.
But it was a good question, but it was not on the heels of mine.
What'd you ask?
I wanted to know who, not sugarcoating it, let us know who is just family and friends here. Let us know who we taking for the 11th pick and won't get out.
Do you know what his answer was? Can you tell me who the first 10 are?
And I'll tell you exactly who I'm taking. So, like, well.
Brilliant.
That's a great answer.
On point.
And do you know what? He's right.
He is.
100% right. Because if you tell them who the first 10 are, they know exactly who they're taking.
Yep.
But the fact that it's so unknown.
Yeah.
And this is all Houston screwing things up. Shocker. I think it's a smokescreen. I think Houston's just full of. They just thought this would be fun. They're taking C.J. Stroud.
But then Ramon Foster asked a question.
Yep.
I will say this. So Kayla was up there doing the conversation with UC Soros, and she took one question from the crowd, and Shafe was the one with the crowd mic.
Yeah.
She took one question, then she started asking questions. Meanwhile, I had the mic. I wanted to ask a question about nicknames. And so finally, I was like, I'm tired of this. I was sitting next to Allison, our big boss, and Coach Mack. I said, I'm tired of this. I'm going to break into this when she stops talking. So she stopped talking, and I go, Kayla! I got a question. I wasn't on the mic. I just yelled at the stage. And like, she looked down at me, and you know how, like, the bright lights are on you on the stage? You can't really see.
Yep.
And so she was like, that sounds like Britt Doherty from 3HL. And I go, yeah, it is. So then I asked my question. But I totally just, busted in on her. But
sorry, Kayla.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Kayla,
I'm not sorry.
This is my life every freaking day.
Yeah. That's what Danielle Parisi said. How does she put up with y'all every day? I don't know. I don't know.
Why
don't you
girl.
go talk about the weather and leave me alone? Anyway, so that was that. The Titans Stadium deal is through. So long night with the Metro Council. But the Titans have the final financial piece to move forward with the new stadium, scheduled to open in 2027. So you've got 4 more seasons at Nissan Stadium. Metro Nashville City Council approved the stadium deal with a 26-12 vote, allowing the Sports Authority to issue $760 million in bonds, which is combined with $500 million in state bonds for the enclosed stadium. That's $1.2 billion, which is the most public funding for any stadium ever. The estimated price tag will be $2.1 billion. Titans will handle the $840 million with help from the NFL and PSLs. It's going to have a translucent roof, approximately 60,000 capacity. Will allow Nashville to bid for, among other things, the Super Bowl, the Final Four, the college football playoff, WrestleMania, and 12-month stadium. Bring it all. 12-month stadium concerts, among other things. So Bert Nihill, president, CEO, talked to him today. He said this to the Associated Press, quote, "This is a generational opportunity to address our city's priorities and ensure its health and vitality for the next 30 years. Our city and state have bright futures ahead, and we're humbled by the opportunity to continue to be a part of it." So the Titans shift estimated, there's so many moving parts with this.
So many.
Titans shift and estimated, $1.8 billion in costs for future maintenance and stadium investments to 2039 from taxpayers to the franchise. And the Titans will also be on the hook for overruns, any overruns that go along with this stadium build. So what that is, $1.8 billion in costs for future maintenance and stadium investments based on Nissan Stadium, if they were to continue to go that way. The team waives $32 million owed by the city for Nissan Stadium maintenance. We told you about this a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So the team waives $32 million owed to the team from the city for maintenance for Nissan Stadium over the last 4 years. They're waiving that. The Titans will also pay $30 million in bonds owed for Nissan Stadium which is where they currently are. To pay off the publicly funded bond money, a 1% hotel motel tax will be instituted, a 50% of sales tax from 130 acres around the stadium. Currently, there are 62 acres around the stadium considered to be Nissan Stadium site. So there will be 130 acres. They're going to build up the East Bank. So we've talked.
It's going to be
amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and we've talked about that. The city needed that anyway, but we've talked about that and how they're going to get money from mixed use space over there.
Yep.
A new 30-year lease has been signed. As a part of that deal, the team agrees to stay in Nashville over the course of that time. Renovating the current stadium, when they looked at that, was estimated to be at $1.8 billion-ish. Lipstick on a pig is expensive.
Yeah, that's 2 stadiums.
Nissan Stadium opened in 1999 as Adelphia Coliseum. It was built for $292 million. So now you're going to have $1.2 billion.
Build 5 stadiums over there.
It was built cheaply and quickly.
We ain't got to worry about that.
It's a good way to put it.
Yes.
I know we got to go to break, though, but the 130 acres, is that going to, if you were looking at the stadium from the interstate, is that going down towards the right, or are we just expanding?
Yes, but it will go to the river, yeah. The East Bank will be built up.
Okay. So not coming across the intersection to the scrap metal yard.
That is not a part of this.
Okay.
But I hear there may be plans moving forward for that space.
Okay.
So, we'll see. Plus, how does Major League Baseball fit into all this? It has nothing to do with the stadium. I'm just saying, as we grow as a city, that is going to happen at some point.
Pretty cool.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
it is. All right.
I have a comment about it too, but we can hit on it later in the show.
Yeah, I just wanted to get the nuts and
No, that's great. Those are great nuggets, so everybody can see it.
No doubt.
Just in case you haven't seen it or heard, and you're just tuning in or whatever. But Coach Matt coming up, NFL Draft Eve. We'll talk with him next. Presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. 3HL is presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. SpringHillAC.com. Coach Matt next on 104.5 The Zone.
Heating up, baby, on hump day because the draft is tomorrow. So if you're hot, hot, it's going to be a hot pick taken, and we got to get to it. So you need to be cool when you walk into your home. Make sure you got your thermostat just right. Climate got to be perfect. And it can be with Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, Babsy.
That's right. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a proud Rude Pro partner and Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. And they've got some specials for the rest of this month for you. One of them includes an AC tune-up for just $79. And if you do that, they will just go ahead and schedule you in for the fall tune-up for free.
That is absolutely right. And you got two Nashville hot summers right around the corner that you got to prepare for. And you can do that with what Babsy just told you. If you're listening, make sure you're listening and paying attention, writing it down. 18 months of no payments. Who wouldn't want that with Spring Hill Heating and Cooling?
That's for a new unit.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got you covered.
Absolutely.
You don't have to pay for it for 18 months. So SpringHillAC.com is the website. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, the company that can take care of all of your HVAC needs. Slay.
Call them, yes, indeed, and stay tuned after the show on Zone TV as we'll have some picks for you as a part of our Superbook sports picks. We'll do that after the show. You spend valuable time thinking about which bets to place each week, so why wouldn't you want the best company in the business to be the one who handles those bets? Superbook Sports is the most trusted name in Las Vegas. It's live right here in Tennessee for all of your sports wagering needs. Superbook has a team of dedicated odds makers behind the counter in Las Vegas, setting all of their prices. We're talking about guys with decades of experience showing you why Superbook has the best odds around. And right now, you can look ahead to the Hockey and Hoops postseason series, all of them, as we continue to move and advance through the playoffs. You can bet on individual games, obviously. You can bet on series winners. You can bet on the overall for all winners in hockey and hoops. Download the Superbook Sports app. Get it done where you get your app, Superbook Sports app, or visit superbook.com to wager and win today. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. 3HL 104.5, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Ron Slay is in the building.
I'm in the building. Yo.
Are you in the building?
I'm most definitely in the building. I was in the building last night with an uncle of mine.
Hunk, is Slay in the building?
Oh, he is in the building when I can find it.
I'm like, what is Hunk
From
doing?
Nashville, Tennessee, at 6'8", at power forward, Ron Slay. Y'all better buckle up, because this car ain't got no roof.
You know what, man, too? I got to say something about last night, man. Were you with your OGs or your uncles? There were some great people to be around, and I happened to be with one last night. Well, we all did. When they hold court, they hold court. When you can get around your OG vets or your OG uncles and sit and talk and just listen to them. Be a sponge and listen to them. Man, hey, man, I was with Coach Mack last night, and I got to see him holding court, man. That's fresh off the heels of Rodney Gardner holding court at the spring game with me, Savage, and Rob Ayers. Last night, I got a taste of it again with Coach Mack. Ain't no place I'd rather be. I'm telling you right now, fly on the wall, Coach Mack in there. Coach Mack will be in there cooking dinner. Let me be the fly on the wall. I'm going to soak up something. Just saying. I love that guy, man.
Coach,
Hi, Coach Mack.
Coach, fun night, wasn't it?
Hey, thank you, Ron Slay. Hi, Don. Hey, that was a great event. Let's just spend 1 minute talking about that event. First of all, 104.5 was represented wall to wall in there, and Cumulus was too. I sat with Brent and with Paul and with Allison at the table up front of the stage through all the interviews. Rhett Bryan and Mike Vrabel, and then Will Bowling and Nashville SC players who I was very, very impressed with. And then Kayla with UC Soros, and then those three songwriters, come on. Mm-hmm. And the show they put on, and that's why I was sitting there with Ron, and after when they were doing the songwriter thing, and Ramon and Murph was there too, from the station, and I said, hey, Ramon, go tell those dudes come back here. I want to meet them. So they all dropped their stuff and came back there, and we pulled up chairs and sat around and we shut the place down. That was so interesting listening to them, and it was so great. It really was.
It's funny because we were all sitting around talking before the singer-songwriters came back there, and I was telling you like how amazed I am at that personality type, right? Like that I've got so many friends in that business also, but that they're always I always love to pick creative brains, you know what I mean? Like, and they're always thinking about lyrics and songs, and it could come from anything that you say. And it's funny, we were talking about this, and then they came over later and then echoed that sentiment, right? Like anything is a song idea, and they pulled out their phones and they were like, they showed their notes in their iPhone. But yeah, props to Mark Beeson for being out there, super talented dude. Also, Andy, Albert, and Josh Dorr. They were amazing. And then, they sat with us and talked about their process, which was fascinating.
No, it was great. And then, of course, they're big football fans, too. And that's what I found out through my whole professional career. And talked about this. I mean, I would give anything to be able to jump up there and grab an axe and just start wailing on it, and be able to sing. And those dudes were the same thing. We would love to be able to do what y'all do. So, I mean, it was mutual respect on both sides. But major props to Kayla, and then for everybody supporting her. For Mike Vrabel, look, there's one coach in the NFL that would come out this close to the draft to do something like that.
Seriously.
And
that's a great
Mike
point.
Vrabel. Oh, it really is, Dawn. And Mike Vrabel was just fantastic. In fact, there were some other people in the crowd of some other, and he doesn't ever want any credit for any of it, but from some other, really, really worthy causes that he supports. They piped up the question and answer session saying, hey, we just want to say, this isn't a one-off with Mike Vrabel. Nope. But anyway, I thought the whole thing was outstanding. I really, really enjoyed it. Worthwhile. Congratulations to everybody involved that came. If you didn't come, you missed a really great event, but still give your money to LLS, please.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And what did you think about Vrabes' answer to Slay's question, who you picking at 11? He said, immediately without pause said, tell me who the first 10 are.
Well, and that's the coach. How many times have you heard me say that? I mean, that's the coach. The thing I loved about Rabel is, as soon as Ron got that microphone in his mouth, he went, "Oh, Parsley's here." they couldn't, he and Rhett, I talked to them afterwards. They couldn't see because of the lights up there on the stage, out there at all, and so. But he recognized that voice, and then when I started laughing, one of the questions Red asked, and his response to it, he said, "Oh, I recognize that laugh."
That was funny. Coach Mack, presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. Coach, the day before the draft, how excited is everyone in the building? Like, how anticipatory is everyone? Like, where is the mental state of everyone in the league right now?
You really try to start taking some deep breaths and just, like before you get ready to involve in any type of contest, and just calm yourself down, because the adrenaline, once it starts, the adrenaline is flowing. I'm just telling you, I've done it in a room for 31 years like that, and it starts pumping, because all the work that you put into it, you can't predict anything. You kind of have an idea of the way you'd like for it to unfold, but the anticipation is great. It's a great way to put it. It's high, very high. So you've got to take a breath and just woo-saw the whole thing. You talk about the ultimate keep your powder dry moment. That's what this is right now.
Love that, Coach Mack. Coach Mack. So you got we don't know who the first 10 are going before us outside of Bryce Young. You have some idea, but if you had your way, what would be, because everybody sounds good. Everybody sounds good in interviews and things of that nature. Yeah, so what is the separator? Is it more about what you learn from a guy coming into the draft, or is it more so about your board and you stick with that board? Have you ever had anybody come along in the draft and change your mind at the last minute, like, hey, man, we got to go get this guy?
No, unless somebody just dramatically falls that nobody even foresaw, and you've got a grade on him that you firmly believe in, and they fall because of, see, what I talk about being, high anxiety anticipation, we do not right now, and nobody in any of those rooms, unless they've been the ones involved in it, pre-draft, have any idea how the trades are going to fall, Ron.
Right.
You really don't. I mean, you can do all the work that you want, trying to look at team needs and thinking where this might go, that might go. But once trades start being thrown into the picture, especially trades that you're not involved in, then all of a sudden that the track shifts. You know how you can shift a track to go right, left, or make a circle? The track shifts when those trades start being made. So you stick with your board, but your bullpen may change. I've talked to you about the bullpen before. Yeah. I'm sitting here right now. I just did a draft event downtown for a business group, and they asked one of the same questions. How do you know? I said you don't, but you try to prepare a board, in both ways, vertically and horizontally, so that once you start becoming close to being on the clock, not on the clock, you got to do it before the clock. Is you put up pods of people in your bullpen, and you start saying, all right, here's where we are. These people are where we expected them to be. Here's how we have them graded. These people fell. Let's start talking it through before we get on the clock.
We see all the mess around it. It's a tornado going on when you talking the chaos of the draft. When are you in the eye of the storm and you start to see a calm? Is it 24 hours before, or is it after you make your pick? Like when are you in it and everybody's in sync and you block out the white noise?
As soon as that draft room door closes, you only have a certain amount of people in there. And then, most draft rooms, everyone I've been in, and I know it's all the same, they have protocols. There's a point as to when nobody's talking,
right,
except the major decision makers.
Okay.
They'll ask opinions, but unless you are spoken to, once that starts, the major decision makers are the ones talking, or unless you have the duty of phone duty.
Right.
I had phone duty for years, trying to work things back and forth just to, throw out chum in the water to see what's going on. But there cannot be – the eye of the storm is a great way to put it, because it has to be calm in there.
Right.
And only a few voices once you really start digging into it. Now, between rounds, then you can talk and everybody, everybody's open. But once you start to get on the clock, about 15 minutes before your pick, that thing gets silent except for the decision makers.
Phone duty, Coach. What does that entail? Is it, hey, if we did this to move up, would you be interested? Hey, is that what phone duty entails?
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And I started having that responsibility early on in my young career because, I know people. And the longer I was in it, the more you know. And so, you're sitting there and you got a phone that you got everybody's direct draft room line on it. All you got to do is punch the button. And, they say, hey, Coach Mack, get a hold of Don Davenport and see what they're thinking here. They're 3 ahead of us. How would they be? What would they want for that? And especially, as to what they have picks afterwards. Just get on the phone and talk a minute, and then give us thumbs up, thumbs down, or tell us what she said. And that happens constantly throughout the draft. And sometimes, it's happened to me. I've been on the phone talking, and they hang up because all of a sudden, no, we're not doing it. It's not personal. It's just business.
Yeah.
Right.
As to when you start going, and what you ever don't want to do is get stuck up to the minute, like Minnesota did years ago, where they had to bypass their pick. Because they were on the phone. They were on the phone trying to get a thing too long. And here's the other thing, guys: when you make a trade, that has to go through the league office and be approved before you can put your card in. So you need to know the timing. That's why experience in the draft room is vital.
Huh. Interesting.
Man, y'all probably put me out of there.
So, yeah. There's no, hey, how's the fam? Okay, have a great night. Yeah. None of that crap.
Ain't no boom boom room in here. Get out of here, Slay.
Yeah. Stop talking. Coach Mack, what's your feeling on Houston? Like, as far as, is this all a smokescreen? Is it, and your opinion on if they don't take a quarterback at the number 2 spot when we all know they need a quarterback? That just seems like that it would be a dumb decision. I just want your opinion. It's not very often that you have the second pick overall in the draft, right?
Well, you don't want the second. You want the second pick, but you don't want to earn it. Okay,
right?
They earned it because they were bad.
Exactly.
Now, think about this. They've got a first-year head coach, DeMeco Ryans. Mm-hmm. He's a defensive guy. And here's the other thing. Think about this, and of course I do because this is the world I lived in. He's got a 6-year contract. He's got a 6-year contract. He's got time. He's got time, and so if he wants to take talent over position, well, he's got time because nobody down there, I don't think, and have never talked to anybody down there. I'm not speaking out of turn, but doesn't expect DeMeco to go to the Super Bowl this next year.
Right.
All right. So he's got to build a roster. So to me, those types of things have been talked about in their draft meetings. But just from a 30,000-foot view, me looking at it, having been in buildings and knowing how this works, is that you got a first-year head coach with a 6-year contract. He's got some leeway.
Interesting. Okay.
Coach, do you have your book in front of you by chance? Like, I'm curious to know, like, who you and Rhett...
I've pretty much got it memorized by now. What do you got?
Yeah, I was just curious, like, who maybe, like, you and Rhett came up with as your top 12 or so. Like, I know you like Christian Gonzalez at cornerback. I'm curious.
Which he's fallen the last couple days.
Yeah, but not with Coach Mack, and that's who I trust.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he's fallen unless he lost his balance. Okay, are we counting quarterbacks or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. Okay. Brian Robinson, Michael Mayer, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers, and Jordan Addison. Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson Jr., Broderick Jones. All right. Osiris Torrance towards the bottom of that. Will Anderson, Miles Murphy, Tyree Wilson, Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, Joey Porter Jr., Emmanuel Forbes. How's that?
Yeah, you gave us like 20, so that's good.
Brian Branch.
So,
and then let's go to the interior defensive lineman, Jalen Carter.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's one of those Joe Green dudes.
Yeah, so
They're
to
on
me,
200
like,
legs.
Joe Green.
so to me, like every year, people think there are 32 first round picks. This year, 31.
No,
It's
to me, true first round grades. Rhett and I came up with 16 guys. Now, I gave you the pods, first pods, and so pods are different than rounds, okay? Because going back to the conversation we just had earlier when we first started talking about this on this segment, is those pods are important because when things start moving and people start going off, you may have some guys at the top of the second pod that you would move into a first-round conversation.
So you said you have 16 first-round grades?
Yeah.
Okay.
16, that's I like that.
And how many wide receivers are included in that, too?
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jiba, Quentin Johnston, and then Zay Flowers is right on the cusp of that.
Okay, so like 2.5 probably. 3.
2 if possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Appreciate that, Coach Mack, man.
Coach Mack, day before the draft.
And you guys will be live starting tomorrow night to break it all down.
Live and in color.
Y'all on location somewhere too, right, Coach Mack?
6th and Peabody. Everybody come out. There, a lot of people last night there said they were coming. Everybody come out.
Yep.
I mean, come on out. I mean, that's what this is for. It's why we do it. 6th and Peabody's got a great venue for it. Huge screen, big place. Y'all have been there, and I mean, it'll be really good. I mean, we put a lot of work into this. Mike Keith always does a great job of orchestrating this. He and Brad Hopkins are going to be, the moderators for an hour before we start, and then Rhett and I and Ramon will be up there to pitch in when asked, and then as we start getting on the clock, then here we go.
That's good. I think I might mosey down now.
You will be there.
He's a man of the people.
There is no doubt that you will be there. In fact, when Brent and I and Allison and we were sitting and Paul were sitting up front at those tables, and all of a sudden we at the second level of Third and Lindsley, we heard a lot of commotion going on back there. And Allison said, "What is going on?" I said, "That's slaying."
That's the party group back there.
You know it. You know it.
Oh, hey, that was a great event. I loved it. Loved being there with you guys, and good for Kayla. And as I say, major props to the guys that donated their time. I mean, for Mike Vrabel and UC Soros and those, I was very impressed with everybody up there. I mean, it was a good evening. Very, very good evening. And I'm proud that I was part of the group that shut the place down.
Yes, sir. So no. Appreciate it, Coach Mack, man.
All right, Coach
Get you some
Mack.
rest,
Thanks,
man.
Coach.
Man, I used to hate that, man. That's what Coach Fuhrman used to always say. I was slaying them over there. I ain't slaying them. That's some of your players too, man.
Why'd your name get called
don't
first?
keep on making me the title. Like, what's going on, man?
This is what happens when you're the leader.
See,
Slay.
I need to fall back then.
No, but
was good
Ramon
last
was
night,
in
though.
that group
He sure
too, wasn't
was.
he?
Yeah, he sure was.
He just slides under the
I
radar.
don't know
You
how
get
he do that all the time,
blame.
man.
Yep.
Man.
Everybody just lets Savage go. You
By the
know,
way-
it's probably because you're 6'8" and he's 6'6".
Can't see him.
Yeah.
Can't see him. Mhm.
I just messaged with Taylor Lewan. I've got something for you when we come back. Stay
Hello.
tuned. 3 Channel 104.5 The Zone.
Braves. How cool is that, man? Okay. Trustworthy business. That's who you want to do business with. Maybe you're buying a car and you know there's a whole lot of non-trustworthy out there. Well, you don't have to worry about Two Rivers Ford. Wouldn't it be nice just to walk in and know that you can trust somebody? At Two Rivers Ford, you can, because guess what? They're celebrating their 40th year as a local company, and you don't get to be 40 years old without doing business the right way, without taking care of your customers. And Two Rivers Ford has always done business with integrity. You get honest answers. There's zero pressure. You get the best price possible because Two Rivers Ford sells all their new non-specialty Fords below MSRP. So you know that you are getting the best price, and they're going to work with you to make sure you get exactly what you want. Their salespeople don't work on commission. And so they make sure that you're getting everything that you're looking for in your next vehicle. Their only job is to find that for you. If you don't believe me, then just go look at all their reviews or check out that A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, or look into the fact that they win the Ford's President's Award for customer satisfaction year after year after year. Seriously, they don't even have any more room in their trophy cases in the lobby because they just keep winning that award. For a local Ford dealership that you can trust that will take care of you, Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people.
3HL 104.5, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. Join 104.5 The Zone for the 82nd running of the Iroquois Steeplechase, presented by Bank of America on Saturday, May 13th at Percy Warner Park. Make tailgating a breeze by purchasing tickets to join us inside the all-inclusive Champions Corner, thanks to Uncle Bud's and O'Charlie's. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit 1045thezone.com.
I heard that setup is awesome.
It is. I went one year. I've been.
Buck is kind of in charge of that, right?
Buck was there that year, and he didn't even work here at that time.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So he's probably really in charge of it now.
So it's
I
funny.
don't know.
Like,
I need to text him.
I mean, growing up here, like Iroquois Steeplechase, you're new to the city, is a big, big, big thing.
Like, that's what you do.
It's one of the biggest social events on the Nashville calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And Dawn can wear her $1,000 derby hat.
Yes, I can. I'm trying to get Mr. Babs to go with baby Babs so that I can dress her in a cute little fastener.
Oh, man, she will frisbee that hat so far.
Oh, my gosh, she will. She will.
Frisbee
she will throw me the nice middle finger and tell me to take that somewhere else.
And she'll drop the S-bomb on you.
Yes, she will.
So it's funny, like, I mean, growing up here, I've been here since 1984. And I went one time, like, with a media pass and stood in the little tower at the start-finish line.
Oh, that's boring.
It was boring, except for the fact that Larry Woody was up there, longtime Tennessean and Nashville banner rider. And he's one of the greatest storytellers of all time. But there was a guy up there that was, like, working the event that had a problem with something that Larry had written, like, 3 years prior.
Wow.
And so Larry was like, listen, man, you know, I'm just sitting up here covering this thing. But if you want to keep going on something I wrote 3 years ago, then, you know, and he started to take his watch off. And I was like,
old man taking his watch off. Watch out.
You know it's serious.
I
So
always remember Hope Hines in that locker room about to just take out PK.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Larry Woody served in Vietnam. I think. But anyway, so the guy backed down.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the one time I went. And then I went one time with the Zone a few years ago and went to that Champions Corner thing. And for a few hours, we had travel baseball that day. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I'd love to see Baby Babs at the Iroquois.
She would love it.
I want to check it out. Maybe.
NFL draft. NFL draft coming up tomorrow. And so Taylor Lewan tweeted something a minute ago. And he wrote, the NFL draft is tomorrow. Good luck to all the gentlemen about to achieve their dream of being drafted into the NFL. This is what the critics had to say about me. And there's a video of him talking. So I texted, I said, hey, man, you want to hop on and tell your draft story? He's like, sure, what time? I said 5:20. He goes, yep. So Taylor Lewan will join us at 5:20.
Gladly accepted with open arms. Come on, 77.
Careful, Hunk, too, because we all know the last time that Taylor Lewan was on 3HL, it was the longest commercial-free interview of all time.
Taylor Lewan brought to you by Awaken 180 because he will be the after party.
So we appreciate him. Also coming up, Todd Fuhrman at 4:30. Bet the Board podcast. We got NBA, NHL, NASCAR playoffs. Lakers at Grizzlies tonight. Grizzlies favored by 4. 6:30 p.m. I have a feeling that Slay would go plus the 4 in this one.
For who?
Grizzlies are favored by 4 tonight.
No, I'm going money line with the Grizzlies.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, they winning tonight.
I told you that yesterday. You looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know how much energy was exerted by AD and LeBron. And I think they're going to, not to say they're going to coast and give them the win, but Memphis got to go lose this game for the Lakers to win. That's how I feel.
Oh, that's interesting. All right. Lakers lead 3-1. Grizz have a 61.3% chance to win, according to the BVI.
I want to hear what the Todd father got to say. He got it right last week.
Austin Reeves, 23 in Game 4. And they're running offense through him now.
Yeah. Yep.
Like LeBron, he goes stand in the corner. They go through Austin Reeves now.
You know what that's called? It's a young man's game in any professional sport. Football, basketball, I don't care what it is. Young man game. That's why.
I'm going to go stand over here, catch my breath. You got it, young fella.
Yeah, I'll take us home. Just get us there.
Golden State of Sacramento, series tied at 2. Home team has won all 4. The winner of Game 5 has won 2-2 series 81% of the time. Under Steve Kerr, The Warriors are 4-1 in this scenario. The one loss came on the road. Big question. De'Aaron Fox is going to go, but he's got an injured shooting hand. So does that mean more Malik Monk? Going to be an interesting game tonight. Golden State, road record this year, counting the playoffs, 11-32.
Yeah. Don't look good. They got to steal one, though. So
they got to steal one. So that's what Steph said. Might as well be now. All right, when we come back, we'll get more into the NFL draft coming up tomorrow. Stay tuned. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. By the way, coming up next, we're going to talk about the stadium deal that was passed by the Metro Nashville Council. Kathleen Murphy, Nashville City Council member, District 24 in West Nashville, will join us to talk about that next. Stay tuned. Buddy Allen Carpet One, they are your flooring experts right here in Nashville, locally owned and operated by the Allen family for more than 55 years. Zach, Jenna, and Judson Allen are in the store every day. You can check out the state-of-the-art showroom, 2405 at Lebanon Pike in Donaldson, 615-883-3289. They will offer you free in-home measures and estimates. They'll be there through the installation. They handle that in-house as well. Check them out online, BuddyAllenCarpet1.com.
And look at it this way. Whoever gets drafted at number 11 by the Titans, most likely is going to be playing in a brand new football stadium for Tennessee. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Superbook.com Sports Desk. I am Joe Hunk. That's because the Metro Nashville City Council approved the funding for the new stadium in a 26-12 vote earlier today. And that is going to be making sure that there are $760 million in bonds available for the stadium to get built. The stadium itself is going to cost about $1.2 billion, and we are expecting it to open for the beginning of the 2027 season. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5, the Zone NFL Draft Eve. The Titans pick number 11. I guess they do. We'll see.
We shall see.
It's going to be interesting. I'll tell you one thing that happened early this morning. The Titans have the final financial piece to move forward with the new stadium deal scheduled to open in 2027. The Metro Nashville Council approved the stadium deal with a 26-12 vote, allowing the Sports Authority to issue $760 million in bonds, which is combined with $500 million in state bonds for the enclosed stadium. The estimated price tag will be $2.1 billion. Titans will handle $840 million with the help from the NFL and PSLs. We went through all of the details at the beginning of the show. We'll talk more about that now with Kathleen Murphy, who joins us now, Nashville City Council member, District 24 in West Nashville. Is that true, Kathleen?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you for having me. It is. You are on the money there.
What was it like to be in that room last night?
Well, it was a very long night into the morning, and it was a little chaotic at times. A lot of energy, pros and cons, and it got a little chaotic there, especially at the end. But I think overall the excitement carried us through the morning.
So
how long? Like what time? Like I don't know, because a lot of us, me included, we don't know what a meeting like that is really like, you know,
what is normal,
right? Exactly. Like what's normal? Kind of take us behind the scenes. Is it everybody's just, sitting in a circle? Like just kind of paint the picture for us.
Sure. So last night was special because although we had several community meetings across town, we hadn't had kind of your traditional public hearing where folks come down to the council and speak to us directly in our chambers. So that was decided last week to do that. So this was a special called meeting. It wasn't planned for us to meet last night until about a week ago. And so to have the public come down, originally it was planned just for the public to speak to us for 4 hours. 2 hours per side, pro and con. And then we decided to extend it because there were so many people there who wanted to share their opinion, and we wanted to hear from them. Whether we already had our mind made up or not, it's important to hear what everyone has to say. And so there were a lot of emotions, a lot of excitement, a lot of anger expressed about, things that we still need to fix in our community here.
Yeah.
But overall, then it was time to vote on the floor, and that went relatively quickly. But no, a council meeting usually starts in the late afternoon with committees, and then we go into our regular agenda. But last night, over 4 hours of public hearing, that kicked us over midnight before we started voting, and that is not. It's become more typical, but that's not our typical timeline. No, we're usually home by midnight. It's midnight. Where's your council member? They're usually home from the meeting back then.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Kathleen Murphy, Nashville City Council member, District 24. All right. So did you vote for it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Why?
I voted for it because the liability that we have in the old contract would be holding Nashville back. And Nashville is progressing so much, and this deal had so many different pieces to it. But I'll tell you what kind of did it for me. The fact that we're getting rid of those parking lots and we're going to be able to create a new neighborhood and community there for people to come together to work, shop, play, and live. Affordable housing, those types of things. Getting that land back for Nashvillians is huge. And then overall, this deal, it's going to continue to be the economic driver, not just for Nashville, but for Middle Tennessee and for the whole state. And that's what's important to me, is that this is Nashville doing our part for ourselves, but that partnership is also going to benefit everyone across the state.
What were the big concerns? Obviously, so that's why you voted yes. What was a hesitation to where, I guess, the main sticking points to where some people voted no?
Well, we have a housing crisis. Like so many other cities, we have a housing crisis. And not just that we don't have enough units, but we don't have affordability. I want to make sure that our police officers, our teachers, our firefighters, the folks working on Broadway, our serving servers and things like that can live downtown also. We're not just a city for millionaires and billionaires. And so that really is something that we've got to continue as a city and as a council to work on. And I know that held a lot of my colleagues back, but the plan is to build affordable housing back into this new neighborhood, and that's exciting.
Good stuff.
Kathleen Murphy with us, Nashville City Council member, District 24 in West Nashville. Is that the McCabe Park area?
Yes, sir. I've got McCabe in my district. It's beautiful.
I love it. It is beautiful. I grew up over in that area. Grew up in Green Hills, but had friends over there, played McCabe all the time and all those things. I think it's important to let people know that there is a lot that's involved in this deal with the current stadium as well. So the team is waiving $32 million owed by the city for Nissan Stadium maintenance the last 4 years. Titans will also pay $30 million in bonds owed for Nissan Stadium. That's to kind of get rid of that stuff. So when you start looking at, and we talked with Burke Nihill about this a long time ago, Titans president and CEO, when you start looking at the options, new stadium or renovating the old stadium, lipstick on a pig idea, so to speak. Renovating the current stadium was estimated at $1.8 billion. So the new stadium, 2.1. Plus, to your point, you get that East Bank. Right, and there's going to be some incredible mixed-use property things done over there, and some green space ideas that have been put out there too. So I'm anxious to see how all this looks. I think it's exciting.
Oh, it's so exciting. This really is, there's so many things you can point to that's a new chapter in Nashville, but this really is a new chapter in Nashville. No longer does Nashville kind of stop at the river and then another Nashville start, and that's East Nashville, this is downtown. It's going to all tie together, and that's what makes our city great, and it's going to continue to make our city great, not have any gaps or holes in neighborhoods. Tie it all together. And I'm really excited to see what is going to come next there, because it's going to be wonderful, and it's going to bring so many opportunities for so many people to, like I said, live, work, play, recreate, and beautify the area. It's just yucky parking lots.
Truth.
That sounds like a T-shirt, Kathleen.
Yeah.
Well, as a lifelong Nashvillian, I remember when we had the referendum. I remember when the Titans were coming here, when they were named. What was the new name going to be, and all that excitement. And I think this just renews it for the next generation. And I'm just excited to see how that's going to turn out. And also, it keeps the Titans here. Yep. Tennessee is home for the Titans, and we solidified that relationship even further last night, or rather this morning. Yeah. I'm still tired. But I think that their commitment to us, our commitment to them, it was right to solidify that for moving forward. So everybody is certain what the future is. I mean, who knows what they're going to do in the draft, right? Like, that's not my area, but I know that this part helps the Titans and their players know they have a home here. We want them here, and they're going to stay here.
Love it.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing you just threw out there that people need to know. A new 30-year lease has been signed, and as a part of that 30-year lease, the team agrees to not move. So
exactly.
That is absolutely huge too. So, all right, here's an idea that I've been floating for years on this show. Maybe you can throw it at your city council members. But,
here we go.
This could get me in trouble.
Maybe, but I doubt it because the whole city will be behind this. We need a statue at the new stadium of the Music City Miracle. I need everybody in their proper places where people can take pictures and see how it all unfolded outside the new stadium. So get that done, Kathleen.
I love it. It's on my agenda now. I love that idea. Right. That is great.
Hey, thanks for the time. Get some rest. And now we'll work on affordable housing and all those things.
Yes. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
See you. Kathleen Murphy over there in West Nashville, District 24.
I can't wait to hear just more and see it unfold. That's why I'm almost in a speechless sense. Now that it's getting done,
trying to take it in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like we were riding yesterday, and we were looking at the city when we were coming over the bridge. Yeah, and I was like, dude,
Party Foul and all that.
Yeah, we never thought that growing up here you would see
it would turn
this city
into
look like this. Yeah, so now you're about to get another edition, and it's going to change before our eyes again. Like East Nashville's been like that forever.
Right.
So it's
even for me, who I've been here 17 years now.
It's a drastic
change.
Even
17 years, I'm like, I never thought the city. I mean, the skyline's different. Everything is different. I'll say this: the part of what Kathleen just said that stood out to me too, that a lot of people don't realize, people that are against this, that don't take into account, is one of her big decisions in saying yes was because of the liability in the initial contract. It was a bad deal for the city initially for that stadium, and what they would be on the hook for if you didn't do a new one legally in that deal, what they would have to take care of at that point. I mean, you already see that the team waived the $32 million. Well, it would be way more than that. It would end up being almost $2 billion that they would have to invest into it because it was a bad deal back then.
Or move.
Right.
I mean, it never got to that point, but you've seen franchises leverage new stadium with moving.
Oh yeah.
Or staying a lot.
And props to the Titans for not pulling that route.
And they're giving up a lot in this deal too. I mean, nobody's going to feel sorry for them because they're going to make tons of money. That's why they're in the business that they're in. But I think it is. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. 4 more years at Nissan Stadium, but the revenue generation, Super Bowl, Final Four, college football playoff, WrestleMania, concerts 12 months a year, stadium concerts 12 months a year. I mean, this is it's going to be huge.
Got to know the draft coming back
for that side of.
It's coming back
for that side of downtown too.
Yeah,
now downtown gets extended across the river.
Exactly,
and
which honestly, we need that extension.
Need it. That's right.
Have you ever gone downtown on a Saturday and looked at downtown right now?
Yeah,
we need that
spillover.
extension. Yeah,
dude. I mean, Tuesday at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like
I know, right?
It's crazy. All right. When we come back, Todd Fuhrman at 4:30. We'll talk about some sports betting. Remember, Taylor Lewan coming up at 5:20 today. He'll tell his drive story. That's 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, people? Ron Slay here, man. The Slim Slay, yes. And if you want to get out and see Big Slay and see how slim I am, that's pretty cool right there. Slim I am. I think I'll just leave it like that. Awaken 180. Awaken 180 is the way I got Slim I am. And the first thing that I thought about when I had my consultation with Awaken 180 is, how do I get back to this weight? How do I get back to a playing weight that I was in college? And they came up with it. I was like, I don't believe you, so you got to show me. We went day by day, week by week, and here we are, man. I'm almost to my goal. I'm 8 pounds away from my goal, and it came so quick. With summer being right around the corner, y'all know I was bringing sexy back for the spring. It's going to spill right into the summer. No more shirts. No more shirts. I was going to wear just undershirts. I ain't even wearing no more shirts. How about that? Freshly shaved chest. It's going to look good. That's neither here nor there. But if you have weight to lose, do what I did and lose it every week with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Schedule your consultation by calling 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay.
What up, dope?
Really dope.
Hey, Shinobi.
NFL draft coming up tomorrow.
Hey, man, I'm going to be real. Like, the last 2 drafts, I was all right. It's just cool. I'm hype about tomorrow. I'm going to be real. I don't know if is it anxiety or is it the Celsius? I don't know what it is, but I'm ready for it, though, man. I can't wait to see who we going to take, man. I can't wait. And it's going to be early, so, yeah.
I think.
Is it going to be early?
11? You think we're gonna move back home?
Yeah, I do.
I ain't with moving back no more.
Mm-mm.
I'm done with that.
You're not?
I'm done with that.
I want to pick up picks. And then I want to use those picks to pick up picks next year. So the Titans have tons of draft capital next year and can go get their quarterback.
See,
it's a party of picks.
I don't like this. I don't like this group, Babs. Unless they travel back and take Hendon Hooker.
Now, why we got to go get a quarterback in this draft, though? That's my thing.
That's what I'm saying.
No, see, this is where. So what? Okay.
The caption contest is about to turn into reality.
Yes,
Here we go. 4:25 on a Wednesday afternoon.
Let's get
it.
Babs loses her.
Okay, so you guys just say we'll just rock on and go get a quarterback next year.
I mean, if you end up with one, I would take C.J. Stroud, but I'm not sold on these 4 though. And I keep going back to it's not Matt Murphy. Who was it from ESPN? Matt Miller.
Matt Miller, yeah.
NFL draft scout.
Yep.
When we said, okay, well, all right, let's put Caleb Williams and Drake May in this draft. Where do they go? Because I want to compare these 4 quarterbacks with those
Keep
2
talking.
coming up next year.
Playing right into my point. Go
And
ahead.
he said Caleb Williams 1, Drake May 2 in this draft.
Yep.
So, okay,
Perfect.
that tells me that, number one, those dudes are awesome, right? Like he said Caleb Williams is going to be like, he thinks if he has another big year, he's going to be like the best guy in 20 years.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, those guys are good, but that also tells me about this class. Just because you have the top 4 quarterbacks that are going to go high in the draft doesn't mean they're like super good quarterbacks compared to like 10 other draft classes. You know what I mean? Like you can only compare them to this draft class.
Okay, so let's just wait till next year
So you talking to him, though?
to get Drake or. All right, just for a little bit. But
'cause
you're
I-
involved.
No, I ain't said mine yet.
Okay,
Go ahead.
let's just wait till next year to get either Drake or Caleb. Guess where Drake and Caleb are going to go? Well, first of all, who's picking 1 and 2?
We don't know.
Yeah, but teams that suck and don't have a
Right, yeah,
quarterback. So guess what? They're going to want to get a quarterback, right?
Correct.
At 1 and 2, most likely. Almost 100%. 1 and 2 are going to need a quarterback.
Unless Carolina still sucks, Houston still sucks, Indianapolis still sucks, then they're not going quarterback.
True.
Then they'll want to trade out.
They might still want to go quarterback. Who knows? But regardless,
Quinn Ewers is
how
another
many-
one.
No. I don't.
J.J.
I'm not sold
McCarthy,
on-
Michigan, another
Okay,
one.
so you like Quinn Ewers? His last name drives me nuts.
Yeah.
You like
got
Quinn?
super sucker with his name. Like,
You like-
she's from Hohenwald all of a sudden.
You like those 2 better than you like C.J. Stroud? If you have a chance
I
to
like
move
C.J.
up to
Stroud.
3,
I do like
if
C.J.
you're the
No,
Titans,
I'm not moving up to 3.
Okay, but see,
Nope,
this
nope,
is my
nope,
thing.
nope,
This is my
nope.
thing.
Babsy,
So
stop.
let's say, here we go. I'm about to hypothetical your butt.
Okay.
So this year, all right? So the Titans then, I know we got Fuhrman coming up. I'm going to make it quick. So the Titans then, this year, maybe move back, maybe
Nix.
whatever. Listen, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't even get that.
is so dumb.
I'm
Thank
looking
you.
at the
Thank
2024
you.
mock draft.
Exactly. There's 2 quarterbacks in next year's draft. That's it. And they're going to go 1 and 2. And you know it.
And you know this.
So the Titans, let's say you move back,
Yeah.
you put some pieces at
Yeah.
offensive line, you
Yeah.
give Ryan Tannehill some protection, who is going to be your quarterback this year.
Ain't going to be good again.
You have Traylon Burks, maybe he's healthy, whatever. What's the line on Titans wins this year?
Well,
It was 6.5.
6.5.
I just looked at another spot that has it 7.5.
Guess what? If the Titans win 7.5 games, you ain't picking high enough to get you a quarterback next year.
Listen,
and if you want to
they
trade
won
up,
7 last year, and they're at 11. They could conceivably trade up.
but see, this is my take.
At that point, you throw in a Kevin Byard or
He might not even be there. You don't even know. But that's my whole thing. Like, you are in a position, if there's a franchise guy, you're in a position to move up. Let's say CJ Stroud is there and Houston does the unthinkable and is dumb. Then you have an opportunity to move up to third and get a guy like CJ Stroud, who, I'm sorry, prior to this S2 crap, was the guy.
He was the guy. Vegas #1 overall pick 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I just don't buy it. Like, if Houston isn't going to go that guy, although I think they are, then as the Titans, you move up, you go get your franchise quarterback, because I'll tell you right now, there is no way in hell that Mike Vrabel will ever tank to be in a better position draft-wise. And I think that this team, I'm sorry, as I always say about Tannehill, he ain't that bad.
No, he's actually not.
He's actually pretty decent. So there's no way that they're only going to win like 3 or 4 or 5 games if Ryan Tannehill is your quarterback next year, and you add some pieces, which you will have to do in order to work on the future. Not to mention, you just signed Big Jeff to that big deal. The time is now. If there's a quarterback there, you go get them this year and you freaking rock on.
I think you add pieces, and I'm all for adding pieces, and the pieces to protect that guy. It got to start in the trenches. I've been standing on that since then. I'm standing on it now, and I don't see what's the difference in mortgaging your whole future next year and then going to get that quarterback, and you've already built pieces for him to step into by drafting this year.
Yeah.
You guys just act like it's so easy to go get a quarterback next year. Mike Vrabel and the Titans are not going to lose.
Listen, if they're status quo and win 7 games and they pick 10 or 11 again, like, we're talking about scenarios for them to move up to 3 right now. Why not 2?
I'm saying mortgage the future for
Because
it.
because Drake May and Caleb Williams are by far the best quarterbacks that we've seen in a while, right?
Right, but if they
of right now,
if they can
they're
present
going 1 and 2.
a package to go up to 3 this year, why can't they present a package to go up to 2?
Well, if the Texans go quarterback and they go CJ Stroud, like, I think that they actually will. I know, but what I'm saying is then the Titans would not be able to present a package to go up and get that quarterback. That's my point.
Todd Fuhrman joins us from Vegas.
Todd, how many games are there? How many games are the Titans going to win next year? Right now.
I mean, you want the official number, or do you want my prognostication right now, the way their roster is currently constructed? I mean, there's a difference of opinion down there versus what the betting market thinks of the Titans versus what I think of them.
All right, give both.
Both. Let's go.
When you look at the Titans right now, I mean, we know obviously a massive long shot to win the Super Bowl. So that's clearly not where we're going in any particular direction. No. As far as their win total, I think it is going to open up in that 7.5 range, and I think that's a fair assessment of where the team is. Now, we've talked about it at great lengths. I mean, this is a Titans team who's going to be listed most likely as second favorites in their division behind only the Jacksonville Jaguars as the Colts and Texans go through full-blown rebuilds. Do I think that's necessarily how the AFC South plays out next year? That remains to be seen, depending on what those two teams do. But thankfully for the Titans, the division is a little bit favorable in that regard. And if things were to break the right way, then maybe this team does have a 9-win ceiling. I just don't like the current compilation of skill position talent that they have on the roster, have questions on the offensive line, and obviously have a major question mark about who's going to be taking snaps under center.
We're having a strong debate on
I'm sorry, Todd.
Quarterback.
Would you?
Yes, Don.
Would you go under where they are now? Would you go under 3 or 4?
3 or 4 wins?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I would go under 4 wins and expect them to be 4-13. I mean, you do have 4 games against the Colts and Texans.
They would. I'm saying
you're just saying.
I'm saying you could be in a position where you can trade up next year to go get Drake May or Caleb Williams.
I mean, I think it's a question of what they believe. Do they think this roster is competitive and that you want to try and rip it down to the studs so you can build back better and create a little bit of that longevity? Or do you try and give up too much draft capital if they happen to have fallen in love with one of the quarterbacks that's out there now? There's always a chance that somebody can fall, and maybe there's an opportunity to pick up a quarterback, much like they did with Malik Willis. You bring him in. If you hit a home run, great, late in the draft. If not, then you find yourself picking in the top 5, and you figure out what kind of package you can put together if you believe that Drake May or Caleb Williams or maybe even Tyler Van Dyke figures it out in Miami again, can be the face of the franchise going forward. But it honestly feels like rinse and repeat when we go through this in terms of quarterbacks and the way we talk about next year's class. I mean, I don't see Caleb Williams as an Andrew Luck, despite what people are saying about him. I don't see him as a Peyton Manning, so it'll be very interesting to figure out how the Titans go about building an offense around his skill set that's going to be very different than some of the things that they've done in the past.
Fair. And you are putting it off. I mean, it's coming no matter what. So, I mean,
this year or next.
That's a lot to go up to 3 to try to get C.J. Stroud to me, but
I mean, here's the thing. If you feel that Arizona is getting desperate and it's not going to cost you a king's ransom, then it's a little bit of a different story. But if you're going to have to mortgage the future for a guy that you're tepid on or lukewarm, I mean, to trade all of that, the last thing you'd want if you're the Tennessee Titans is to do what the 49ers did. Now, they haven't paid the price for what they gave up for Trey Lance yet, but eventually you have to pay the piper in the NFL. And if you make a bad trade to go into the top 5 and give up an awful lot, that ramifications of that poor decision aren't felt in years 1 or 2. Obviously, the Titans have their eyes trained on 2027 when you guys are going to open up a new stadium, and the last thing that organization wants is to go 3-14 in a beautiful new building.
That's exactly. That's what I'm
point.
with. That's exactly what I'm with. Spot on. Todd, father, spot on.
Is C.J. Stroud going to be there at 3? That's my question for you. What are all the odds saying?
You know, I do think C.J. Stroud is there. You know, you hate to defer to, what was the Wonderlic test before and now the cognitive test. It's not a one-to-one mapping when quarterbacks go out there and ace that they're going to be transcendent talents. The problem being is we've seen quarterbacks that have performed poorly on that, and it's rare those players are able to process at NFL speeds. We've seen C.J. Stroud against Georgia, and obviously that was the lasting image we had of him as a college player. But when you look at some of the games within the Big Ten in a muddy pocket against inferior competition, looking at Ohio State quarterbacks and the receivers they have to throw to against the Northwesterns of the world and some of the defensive backs that you're working with, it's always tough to try and get a truly accurate representation. I think what's fascinating when you look at the way the odds have moved for the number 2 pick, all signs point to the Houston Texans drafting defense and going with Tyree Wilson, the Texas Tech edge defender, unless potentially they were to make a trade with, say, maybe the New England Patriots and get Mac Jones or something along those lines.
It's so weird to me, this Tyree. Everybody just in love with him.
Falling in love. He's that guy. All right, let's see.
I'm not.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's all about potential, honestly.
Right.
I mean, if you look at what he was able to do from a production standpoint, you're not enamored with the numbers he produced while he was in Lubbock. And again, it's a defensive-minded head coach, and I think there's an internal battle going on that if you were going to talk to the Houston Texans right now, roughly 24 hours before, they may still not know exactly what direction they're going to want to go because, again, you're kicking the can further down the road if you don't take a quarterback and telling fans, be patient, be patient, be patient. And would Houston decide to draft a quarterback at 12 should somebody be there that they think is a comparable fit compared to what they would be taking with the second overall pick?
Todd Fuhrman at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter. Bet the Board podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Lakers at Grizzlies tonight. Grizzlies favored by 4. Game at 6:30 Central. Lakers lead the series 3-1. What do you think? The Grizz bounce back tonight and take Game 5?
No, I think they can. This is a spot where a younger roster benefits without a prolonged rest in between games like we've seen. If the Lakers were to get down double digits in this contest, say midway through the third quarter, let's see what kind of minutes that Darvin Ham would allow LeBron James to play. It's a quick turnaround by NBA standards these days, and that's part of the reason that I think we've seen this number leak from 3.5 where it opened out to 4.5. You've also seen the total tick up a shade from 221.5 to 223. So for me, I would look at the Grizz and laying the points here more so than I'd be running to try and back the Lakers in a closeout spot, knowing that LA has to feel relatively confident that they can close things out in style at home over the weekend.
So if the Grizz do win tonight, then what does Game 6 look like to you?
I mean, you'd be looking at a number very similar to, what you're seeing now, albeit with the Lakers favored in that 4.5 range.
Yeah.
This series has been relatively straightforward in terms of how the odds makers have gone about it, placing a lot more increased emphasis on home court. But it's also tough when you look at a baseline number. So much of this must win or that elimination mentality is built into it. And when teams are facing 3-1 series deficits, you have to pay a premium to back the team to close it out. But in a series like this, where people believe that Memphis is at least relatively close to an equal when the series started, you're actually paying a premium to back Memphis to keep this series going here instead of laying 3.5.
Sacramento, Golden State. Golden State can't win on the road. De'Aaron Fox, not question me, he's playing, but don't know what that finger is going to do. What you got on them?
And that's the big question, obviously, in this game. The Kings opened as 1.5-point favorites. When news broke that De'Aaron Fox was going to be listed as doubtful dealing with that finger injury, we saw Golden State swing all the way to a 4-point favorite. Fox gets upgraded, and that number doesn't come back to where it was before, so it's kind of stuck in no man's land with Golden State, depending on the book, a 1.5, 2-point favorite. But the one thing that we have seen is consistent under money coming in, 237.5 down to 235. And this may be a game that you're looking more at the prop market. If Fox's shooting isn't quite up to snuff, who does he look to defer to? And I think you're asking players like Malik Monk to really step up. That number hasn't adjusted much from where it's been the first couple of games, but I think there's a direct correlation here for the Kings to have success and some of those secondary scoring options to kind of carry the mantle a bit more if De'Aaron Fox just isn't feeling it from the perimeter.
Real quick on the way out, I know you love to get involved with the NASCAR, seeing Kyle Busch with the win. Now we're at Dover. Who do you like on this track?
Yeah, it should be a fun race, a monster mile on the concrete oval. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Mother Nature is going to comply with some of our best wishes there, so we'll see exactly how the race weekend unfolds. When I look at the numbers now, the driver that stands out to me was one that struggled with his finish last year but has had a very good car sporadically so far this year, not getting the finishes. In my opinion, this is a good buy low opportunity on Denny Hamlin. His price anywhere from 10-1 or greater makes some sense. And if you're looking for a little bit of a long shot, shop around. You can find Ricky Stenhouse right around 60-1. I'm not sure the 47 will have enough to grab the checkered flag, but he does have the potential to run in the top 5. And if that's the case with a price like that, all you need is a bounce here or a bounce there, and maybe you're able to cash, a nice little payday there with a de facto lottery ticket.
Todd, Father, hockey. Boston, get this over with. I like the over 6. You tell me if I'm wrong. Colorado and Seattle, I have no idea about it. So what you got as far as hockey going on?
The Boston game is interesting because obviously if Florida is chasing in the third period, you're going to see them get more aggressive. So this game could start a little bit more defensive-minded and blow up. We've seen the Bruins really take the air out of the building when they've had opportunities late in games. I mean, there's not a better team in the league when it comes to protecting. And if you look at Boston, when they've scored first this year, north of a 90% success rate, tremendous when leading after the first period. So I would lean over the total in that game, but not really strong convictions for me there. I actually like the total under, in the late game between Seattle and Colorado. No Cale Makar for the Avalanche, no Jared McCann up front for the Kraken, and Seattle, rather than messing with some of their chemistry up front, they're going to plug an AHL All-Star in on their top line. I think this is a defensive-minded mentality, and it has all the makings of a 3-2 final.
Like it.
Todd Fuhrman, at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter. Thank you, Todd. Good stuff, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate you.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Every Thursday at 4:30, Todd Fuhrman. Longest running guest on 3HL.
Better listen to 3HL at the end of the Zone TV, though, because Parsley getting together. A little hockey action.
I mean, Mike Vrabel even knows about the parlay.
Yeah, he probably betting. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not, y'all. I'm playing, y'all. I'm
24 hours before the draft. You don't need that crap being said.
I'm playing around. I'm on my betting app right now. I'm betting.
This is jokes.
This is all jokes, everyone.
Please just talk about Jim White coming up next when we get out of here.
Jimmy, he's in Kansas City.
He is in Kansas City, side of the draft. Jim White coming up next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Need to get stocked up, my friends, at Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits can hook you up. It is Wednesday, and what does that mean? Every Wednesday is Senior Day, so come in for special discounts at Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits. 101 Creekside Crossing in Brentwood by the Publix, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They are closed on Sundays. Delivery through the Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits app, and curbside pickup is available. Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits, locally owned and has been serving Middle Tennessee for more than 17 years. Jason and his crew are there ready to help you find the right wine pairing, maybe the right cigar post bourbon drinking, maybe a different kind of bourbon that than you're used to. Craft beer, they've got choices for you there, and they are there. Their staff, Jason and his crew, are there ready to help you. If you're looking for the perfect gift, maybe a housewarming, birthday, just a thank you, Mother's Day coming up, Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits has customized baskets for you to grab and go. With wines, spirits, local olives, chocolates, perfect gift for the cocktail lover. Again, every Wednesday today, Senior Day, so go in for special discounts. Every day they honor the military discount, and they have case discounts every day, too. Check them out online, MarylandFarmsWS.com. 101 Creekside Crossing in Brentwood by the Publix. That's Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits. 3HL 1045 The Zone. We have a picture on our Twitter feed at 3HL 1045 of Dawn Davenport on the table yelling at me and Slay. So that's really not what was happening. That is what it looks like is happening, but caption that. And a lot of y'all are coming up with some creative things. NFL Draft coming up tomorrow in Kansas City. Jim Wyatt is there at Jay Wyatt Sports, TennesseeTitans.com. Jimmy, what's up? How are you?
Not too much. You hear a lot of draft day stories about people standing on a table to pick certain players. That what Dawn was doing. She was standing on the table saying the team ought to pick so-and-so.
As a matter of fact, Jim Wyatt, I literally just did that in the last break. And I said, if C.J. Stroud is there at 3, the Tennessee Titans must go get him.
She wants what she wants.
I get a lot of that. It's funny. Yeah, it's funny. I've talked to a lot of these guys today, from C.J. Stroud to Anthony Richardson to Will Levis, and interesting the takes and the comments under each of them. You know, it seems like people are divided. Obviously, I don't even know if the word is divided on Levis. It seems like it's pretty one-sided on Levis. You guys can probably guess which way it goes. Richardson, I think there seems to be a little bit more split just because of his potential. But, people also understand that he was a little bit inconsistent in college. But I think Stroud is one that I have seen. It does seem like more people seem like they can get on board with that one because, he has been projected as one of the top players in this draft for a long time. You get the sense that he could be in a position to get him. It's something a lot of people never would have thought would be possible, a couple of weeks ago. Now, whether that happens, we'll see. I mean, some other quarterbacks in this draft, as you guys know, including Hendon Hooker and Bryce Young, and how some of this stuff shakes out here in the next, I guess for a little over 24 hours is really going to help decide what the Titans do. Not that they're in it for the quarterback, but it certainly could affect other positions as well.
What has the NFL draft turned into? I'm curious what the vibe is in Kansas City, because obviously Nashville turned that thing into a thing. I mean, like the NFL draft took like 50 lines of cocaine in Nashville, and now it's become this big thing, right? Like, so what's the vibe like in Kansas City fan-wise?
Well, you can start to feel it. I mean, I got here late yesterday, and it was still pretty quiet. I did go out to eat Jack Stack Barbecue. It was a good spot. And then I saw a couple of Titans fans from Canada that were in there. One of them dressed in a Who Run It T-shirt. The other guy had on a Warren Moon old Oilers uniform. They were representing here in the city. And but I think the crowd's just now filtering in. And hey, Puff, I'll go in with you just a second. I'm sorry, I got the old on-air shout-out. On-air shout-out to Jared Puffer, who is we're trying to get our credentials
presented by Unk down the street. Yep.
That's our guy.
Yeah, so it's just, the crowd's starting to build. This is Nashville. I'm biased, obviously. I was born and raised in Nashville, like all you guys. Love the city, and it's hard to compare some of these other drafts to what happened in Nashville. Kansas City, good city. Talking to Joe Hunk before he came on about how much he likes the city. But this draft is going to be held in the huge Memorial Park, which is downtown, but this just doesn't have the surroundings that the Nashville draft has. My hotel's a mile away. I think on the other side, it's a mile away. People can walk to it, but there's just not the buzz around the draft itself that there was in Nashville. And it wasn't even like that. It wasn't like that in Chicago. It wasn't like that in Philly. It wasn't like that in Dallas. It wasn't like that in even Vegas last year because it was off the strip. Nashville's still the tops of all the ones that I've been to, and I went to a New York draft as well.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Because you see people. I just saw a guy, walking down the street with, dressed head to toe in Steelers stuff. Just saw a couple other people pass me head to toe in Panther stuff. There was a guy that pulled up in a car that had a Ohio State flag and face painted and jersey. I thought it was Kirby for a second, but it was. But it's just cool because football America is gathering in the city, and it's going to turn into quite a spectacle.
Love it. We may check back in with you on Friday. I know you won't be busy or anything, but
I'm loving the content.
I'll be back in Nashville. I'll be back in Nashville Friday because he's just here for the first round. So feel free. Hopefully I can make it happen.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks,
Have
Jimmy.
fun, buddy.
Okay.
Go get your credential.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it.
At Jay Wyatt Sports on Twitter, Jack Stack Barbecue. That's where we went there when we were in town for the playoff game and AFC Championship game, and we went to Jack Stack Barbecue, and about a month before, Patrick Mahomes had been in there with his at the time girlfriend, I think, and anyway, everybody left him alone, right? And so like when he left, he turned before he walked out the door, according to the server that we had, and said, and we told Tracy Wolfson this story. I don't know if she used it or not, but he turned around and said to the entire restaurant, "Hey, I really appreciate y'all leaving me alone to spend some time with my girlfriend. All y'all meals are on me." And he bought the entire restaurant dinner that night.
Talking about went over a city. That's how you gonna do that.
That's a man of people right there. Patrick Mahomes. All right, when we come back, 5 o'clock hour, I know we've had some really patient people on hold. We will take phone calls when we come back. And then keep in mind, Taylor Lewan at 5:20 will tell his draft story. That's coming up, 3HL 104.5 The Zone. If you own a small business, you know the value of time. GetRefunds.com does too. That's why they've made it easy, no matter how busy you are, to apply for the Employee Retention Credit, or ERC. Go to GetRefunds.com to get started, and in less than 8 minutes, see if your business qualifies for ERC assistance. Your business may be eligible for a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee kept on payroll during COVID-19. GetRefunds.com has already helped clients claim over $3 billion in payroll tax refunds through the ERC. They may be able to help your business too. There's no upfront charge either. They don't get paid until your business gets its refund. Many businesses believe they won't qualify based off incomplete or outdated information, so don't let this opportunity pass you by, because this payroll tax refund is only available for a limited time. Go to GetRefunds.com. That's GetRefunds.com.
Good evening from the Superbook.com sports desk. I'm Joe Hunk. The next move for the Titans, put some shovels in the dirt. Well, I mean, the next move is to actually draft somebody at 11. But when it comes to the brand new Titans Stadium, that thing has officially been approved. The last vote came in early this morning by the Metro Nashville Council. 26-12, they approved the build of the new stadium. It is set to open in 2027. Tonight, the Grizz try to get their second win of the series against the LA Lakers. Tip-off for that game is going to be on TNT, and you can watch it beginning at 6:30. Also, the Atlanta Braves are trying to get their third win in a row against the Miami Marlins. First pitch for that game is going to be at 6:20. For all of your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three Town 104.5 The Zone. What up, Nashville? Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Draft Eve, NFL Draft Eve. Coming up at 5:20. Taylor Lewan going to hop in the mix.
In the mix.
He hasn't been on the show since, he was a Titan the last time he was on the show.
Yep.
He was a Titanic Titan.
So enough. Big 7-7.
Big 7-7. He is Ron Slate. Look at him. He's right there.
I'm in the building.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building. Hey, I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
I'm going to crash.
I'm in the building tomorrow.
I can't wait, dude.
With Titans Radio, I'm going in that thing.
What? And the Texans going to do it too. That's going to affect it all, right, Babsy?
That's right.
So much going on, and certainly got the draft talk about. Also, the Titans have the final financial piece to move forward with the new stadium scheduled to open in 2027. Metro Nashville City Council approved the stadium deal early this morning with a 26-12 vote, allowing the Sports Authority to issue $760 million in bonds, which is combined with $500 million in state bonds for the enclosed stadium. The estimated price tag will be $2.1 billion. The Titans will handle $840 million with the help from NFL and PSL. So they haven't gone into detail about what the PSL plan is going to look like, but that is a piece of it. This will allow Nashville to bid for, among other things, the Super Bowl, the Final Four, college football playoffs, WrestleMania, and they'll be able to host stadium concerts 12 months a year. It's going to have a translucent roof, which I think is an awesome idea.
That's close. That's close enough to no roof.
That's you can.
I'm cool with that.
You can still see outside.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Approximately 60,000 capacity. Burke Nihill saying, quote, this is a generational opportunity to address our city's priorities and ensure its health and vitality for the next 30 years. Our city and state have bright futures ahead, and we're humbled by the opportunity to continue to be a part of it. Titan Shift estimated $1.8 billion in cost for the maintenance and stadium investments to 2039 from taxpayers to the franchise. Titans will also be on the hook for any overruns in terms of construction. Team waives $32 million owed by the city for Nissan Stadium maintenance the last 4 years. Titans will also pay $30 million in bonds owed for Nissan Stadium. To pay off the publicly funded bond money, a 1% hotel motel tax will be instituted, a 50% sales tax from 130 acres around the stadium. That's going to be the East Bank buildup. New 30-year lease has been signed. As a part of that deal, the team agrees to stay in Nashville, not going anywhere. Renovating the current stadium, when they were thinking build new or renovate, renovating the current stadium was estimated at $1.8 billion-ish. So there you go. Nissan Stadium opened in 1999 as Adelphia Coliseum. They did not lose a home game that year. It was built for $292 million. That's the update there. All right, let's go to the phones before we get Taylor Lewan in here. Kenny the mailman. Next up on 3
Hey, that's my guy. What's up, Kenny?
Kenny, what's up?
Hello, good friends. There's a lot of draft opinions floating around. Can I give y'all a solid as concrete draft fact?
Oh,
Yes.
most definitely.
All right, get your pens and papers out, boys and girls.
Got it.
Because in the last 11 years, 6 teams were firmly convinced we're going to move into the top 5 picks in the draft, and they gave up over 20 draft picks and players to pick these 6 guys. They were firmly convinced they were going to change their franchise. Would you like to hear their names?
Most definitely.
Here's the 6 that they gave the farm away to pick. RG3, Mitch Trubisky, Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, and Trey Lance. Not one of them saw a second contract with the team that swore they were going to change their city.
Interesting stats.
The moral of the story is don't give away the farm for one fat pig.
I don't know, man. Pigs.
But if you don't have the fat pig, you're done.
Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Kenny.
That was good stuff.
No, that's great stat.
What was
Although
the stat?
RG3, if he would have stayed healthy,
you just took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, like his was he just had a catastrophic
he was on his
injury
way.
and tried to come back. He tried to come back too early,
Yeah.
right?
Great dude too. Really smart.
Yeah.
What was the stat I came up with the other day? Out of all of the drafts, 12 times a team has traded up for the number 1 pick. 4 of those times they took a quarterback. None of the 4 won a Super Bowl.
Yo.
So at no point has anyone traded up to number 1 to take a quarterback that won a Super Bowl, and that's Carolina in this draft. There's all kinds of stats. I can't wait till tomorrow. I'll have a ton of them.
Well, can I point this out?
Yeah.
Point.
I mean, it's time for that to change, right? Here you go.
I worry about Bryce Young. I get
You worry about his size.
Yeah, he's just.
Well, you know what?
He's not a
Supposedly they're taking Will
broad-shouldered
Levis
guy.
anyway, so.
Yeah, right.
According to Levis's family on Reddit.
You know, so I was the more and more we get closer to it with Bryce Young, if you've made it this long, and yes, you're going to be playing against different guys, different caliber, but you're also going to have different guys blocking for you. So if you've been able to make it this long, he got to continue to be smart and be smarter. I think he's going to be all right, man. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Tua contemplated retirement.
Because of his concussions.
Do you think Tua?
He's bigger than Bryce.
Yeah, but I think Bryce is a way, way more talented and better player than Tua was.
I agree.
It's funny too. It's almost like when you hear the description of Bryce Young, it's almost like the same thing we heard about Tua though.
But do you remember him taking risk?
The one thing is he's so accurate and he can see things unfold really well, which is what Tua was. I went to the Tennessee-Alabama game in Neyland Stadium, and I sat down low and watched that dude, and he would throw the ball as the receiver had 2 more breaks in him. It was so crazy, the anticipatory nature of him. But the other thing is, does he have the arm strength to push the ball down the field? And that's what I just watched on ESPN this morning.
Who you talking about, Tua?
No, with Bryce. But that was the problem with Tua, too.
Right.
I'm convinced when it comes to play, I'm convinced with Bryce.
The question though, he's Steph Curry. Everybody likes to say he's Steph Curry with a football.
My thing different between him and Tua, I'm asking y'all this: what do you name the time when you remember him taking risks? Tua took risk in college, running the ball. Bryce doesn't do that. Bryce is totally different. I can't remember him taking free hits. I never remember him battling for extra yards and dude play. He knows his size. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. He know he's small.
Yeah.
So he he don't put himself in those situations. Now, when you're in the NFL, it's gonna be different because you got different type of guys chasing you. But he's smarter than that to me. He's smarter than that to me.
We'll see. 615-737-1045. Appreciate that, Slay Dog. Miss Susie.
What'd I do?
You gave your opinion. Miss Susie in Chattanooga. Susie, what's up?
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job,
Hey,
Hang on, my girl.
Talked to y'all in a while.
How you doing,
I
Miss
had
Susie?
to stop calling mid-season last year. I love my boys, but I couldn't say nothing negative, so I'm waiting till tonight. Last year we signed Harold Landry. Then draft night, that Philadelphia guy was gone. And I can't handle, they better not trade my Derek. They better not get rid of the mayor, Kevin Byard. And we had a second-round draft choice in quarterback with Marcus. Great guy. I love him. Wonderful human being. He couldn't do it. What they do in college, they may not be able to do. I like where we got Kevin Byard. I like where we got Derrick Henry. Our first round picks suck every year. I love Taylor. I know he's coming on.
Yeah.
But once he put that damn boss hog suit on, he wasn't worth a shit. And I'm
Miss Susie.
Susie said last year she couldn't call in because she just couldn't take it. She said today is the day, the night before the draft.
You have to use Shiano for that word.
All right.
Miss Susie's sick of it.
Here's my public service announcement.
Oh my
All right,
gosh,
so
I love Miss Susie.
Hunk, did you hit the
That's
dump
my
button?
girl too. That is my girl too.
I did.
I hit the dump button as well.
Welcome back,
so
Hunk.
over the radio, that doesn't go out. But if you're listening on the app or on Zone TV or online, you just
You heard Miss Susie.
Susie go at it
I love you, Miss Susie.
from Chattanooga.
Speak from my heart.
I don't give a.
Yeah, I know.
He just
Keanu.
ain't worth that. I don't think that we need to tell Taylor that just when he calls here in a second.
Well, I'm sure he heard it.
Especially not, verbatim.
Hey man, Taylor, he done heard way worse than that. As a player, believe me, that ain't nothing. Me probably that rolled off the back.
So I was there that day that he wore that Boss Hog outfit. I was really impressed with how well it fit. Like to get a white suit like that. Like I mean, that was impressive to me.
Bet you it
loved
wouldn't
it.
fit now.
Y'all know how much he signed for? You can go find any kind of white suit. Don't be impressed. He could have came in an astronaut suit. Like
Boy, that would have been something.
That
That's a
big
good
old
point.
bankroll. You go find something,
Highest
baby.
paid tackle. He earned
I'm
it.
telling you now. Yeah.
Bill said, bless her.
Todd on Twitter at 3HL1045. Did the mayor just say anticipatory? I don't even know who you are anymore, Mayor.
Dude, when he said it, y'all should have saw me. I looked like,
What's wrong with me?
I feel you.
I've been going with big words lately.
You
Yeah,
ready
you
to roll,
have.
brother. You
I
ready
don't
to
know
roll
what's going on.
I gotta dumb it down for myself again.
for yourself.
By the way,
About us.
Jay Smiley just texted me and said that he didn't get to use the dump button the entire time he was filling in for me. I've been back for 2 days and I get to use it.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. They know Hunk.
Usually it's guests that do
They took it
We'll
easy
see,
on you,
We'll see if
Smiley.
Taylor Lewan does it next. Taylor Lewan next on 3HL.
No. All right. If you are a small business owner out there, or if you just have IRS or tax issues and you need some help, I'm going to tell you where you need to go and who you need to call. You need to call the law offices of Charles Frazier and let Attorney Frazier help you. Here's your phone number, 615-510-4000. And I'm going to tell you why Charles Frazier and the law offices of Charles Frazier are so dang good at helping anybody that has some IRS issues. Graduated from Austin P and then got his law degree from the University of Tennessee. And after graduation, Charles Frazier actually worked for the IRS as an agent. So he knows that inside perspective on how the IRS approaches tax audits, and he uses that knowledge to be able to help his clients. So if you need IRS help, 615-510-4000. It's the law offices of Charles Frazier. Also check out all of their testimonials at frazier.law. He is also experienced estate planner as well. So if that's something you're looking to do to take care of your family for later, the law offices of Charles Frazier can help you out. Call Attorney Frazier and schedule your consultation, 615-510-4000.
3HL 1045, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, producer Joe Hunk. NFL Drive coming up tomorrow. Titans Radio got you covered. Following us. We got to do our show first. They can just wait.
Who?
Titans Radio.
Better be careful. Some heavy hitters, Mike Key, Coach Manley.
I'm like,
X us out
you're on your
over
own
here.
island
Actually,
over there, Mayor.
I've heard it in Kansas City. Roger Goodell's listening on the apps. Like, we got to wait till they're done so we can start.
Yeah.
That's true. So sorry, Titans Radio guys. Don't take me out back.
You on your own, Mayor.
Taylor LeWan joins us on 3HL. Taylor, what's up? How are you, man?
Guys, electrostatic to be here. The intro with the here we go now got me fired up, dude. I'm fired up to be with the three of you today. How are we feeling about this NFL draft coming up? Are we excited?
Pumped.
Geeked.
Like, so jacked. Can't even handle it. I don't know if it's because we got a new GM in place, because it's pick 11, because there's so much drama about the Houston Texans possibly really trying to screw this thing up for themselves, which, you know, is totally fine.
What a way to put that.
Yeah. What's your take?
Well, my take is this is the first time I've been on this radio station since I haven't been a Titan. So literally I can say whatever I want.
That is true.
There's no one holding me back.
Please don't.
So we'll start with this. If there were going to be bets on whether or not the Houston Texans were going to mess up the draft or not, I would take all of the money I have, all the assets I have, and I would put it in to the fact that the Houston Texans are going to mess it up, which is going to benefit the Tennessee Titans. That franchise is in turmoil, boys and girls. It's an absolute dumpster fire over there in Houston. They're not going to love that I said it, but here we are, living the dream day before the draft.
Dude, I'm in love with NFL analyst Taylor LeWan.
Yeah,
This is
Seriously.
buddy.
NFL analyst. Listen, very low education, had a 2.0 GPA general studies major at the University of Michigan. But what I want to know from you guys is, you don't have to give any context. Who do you guys want the Titans to take? I want to hear from all. Just you guys just rattle off real quick who you want.
Texans screw it up. Titans move up to 3 and get their quarterback in C.J. Stroud.
I say stay at 11. Give me best available lineman when we get to that point.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. See, that's two Ohio State guys talking to you.
Yeah, I know. How about this? The next Taylor LeWan.
I'm with you on the offensive lineman.
Thank
If
you.
you look at the last 30 years of the Titans, I am giving myself some flowers here. You've got 30 years of a consistent left tackle. You need a left tackle, and if that 11 spot comes up, they don't trade, they don't do anything. Paris Johnson Jr. That's my bet right there.
So I saw that Jim Wyatt posted a video from Paris Johnson, and he gave like Bussin' with the Boys the shout out. He talked about how he has talked to you a ton. Like, why do you have a relationship? Kind of fill us in there.
Yeah, it's a very unique relationship that's really been drawing through Bussin' with the Boys. I went back in November, the third week in November. I was up in Columbus, Ohio for College Game Day, and I did a segment with them, and then I was on the sidelines for a little bit, and that's the first time Paris and I's eyes met. And fast forward to late March, early April, and we go to Columbus, Ohio, the Ohio State University, to meet with, we met with Ryan Day, and Paris Johnson was doing his pro day that day, ironically enough, with Arthur Smith from the Atlanta Falcons. So it was great to see Artie, and they were working him out and all that. And so we sat down, and you just get, you try to give guys game the best you can when you see an up-and-comer coming up with the talent level that he has. I just think he has the potential to be special. I told him, you're not the best player. You're not the best offensive lineman in this draft right now. You're not. But his ceiling by far, I believe, is the highest of all the other offensive linemen in the draft. So we've accumulated a good little relationship, and I'm rooting for him wherever he goes.
So, Taylor, he played tackle last year. He played guard the year before. You think he You think he translates to the league as an inside guy or a tackle?
No, I think if are we talking the league or are we talking the Titans?
Oh, well,
is it different?
I do, because I think Skoronski out of Northwestern, he's your best available tackle as far as a polished look, right? Like he is technically sound. He's got a good frame. He's the most consistent of all the tackles in the draft. That's a guy that you look at and go, he is exactly like Zach Martin. Boom, we can move him into guard. He's going to be probably a Pro Bowler at some point. Boom, 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 boom. You look at Paris Johnson Jr. and it's like it's raw athletic material you're working with. There's a lot of things that he gets away with in the college game after watching some of his film that allows you to think, okay, this guy's athletic ability is letting him kind of get away against lesser individuals. You put him in the room with the Tennessee Titans, and I love Haas to death. He's now the O-line coach there. But a guy like Mike Sullivan is the reason why I was able to have so much success at a young age with the Titans, is because he taught me how to use my hands and not put myself in bad positions that would get me exposed that I could get away with in college. And I think Paris Johnson, if he goes to the Tennessee Titans, he's a tackle. No one needs to argue that.
Okay.
He will end up being your left tackle. Bing, bang, boom. That's it. He goes to another place, and then maybe you have a guy that, well, let's say he goes to Atlanta at 6. You have a guy like Jake Matthews, who's the same draft class as me, has had a good, solid career at left tackle. He can go in and play guard for a year or two. Once Jake, whose contract's up, I believe, this year, he's out, then you move him out to left tackle. But he has the ability to, and has the athletic skill set to play left tackle.
Taylor
really
Lewan with us on 3 Yeah, really interesting. Man, you're analyzing the crap out of
I
this
know.
stuff, man.
What are you? What?
Boy, I've been at home. I've been at home since week 2 of the fall, baby. I've been working. I'm stoked to be with you all today.
With the whole busing with the boys thing and the popularity and all those things, like, do you have players that reach out to you for advice and things just because, like, you're on the forefront of what they consume in terms of podcasting and social media and all those things?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys I have lots of guys that are either on the Titans or on different teams in the NFL that reach out to me about how to start a podcast and do all that. And and all those types of things. As far as like reaching out, are you asking reaching out to me? From
I just thought it was interesting about Paris Johnson reaching out. Like, just have you reached that point where players like reach out to you to try to get your take on their game?
Yeah, I have a handful of players in my DMs on a constant basis. If you look at my DMs, dude, it's all dudes. I got dudes up in these DMs, and most of them are either, high school or college kids that are asking for some sort of advice. And a lot of times they hit me with their Huddle account. And I'm like, sometimes I'll pop it on or whatever. But like I said before, dude, anytime you can help somebody with a step, because football is a game of making it simplistic. Like, there's all these, you listen to the draft analysts, you listen to the guys calling the games, they're talking about coverages and shields and 4-3s and 3-4s and all that, and it can be overwhelming. The game is so much easier, especially for me, like I said, 2.0 GPA. It's so much easier for me when I could simplify what I had to do on a step-by-step basis. I have 3 things in my head before every single play. And if I can achieve those 3 things, your likelihood of being successful in that play is much higher. So when I have guys reach out to me, I just try to put that on them, man. Like, I don't know how their brain works, but if I could just help out with anything, because the game is stressful. I mean, you all know it's like it's an absolute grind, and so it can be overwhelming at times. And the ability to zoom out is such an important thing to do for these young players.
Did you take the Wonderlic back in the day, and have you heard about or had any involvement with this S2 test?
Yeah, I took the Wonderlic test. Here's the deal with the Wonderlic test. You have 15 minutes to answer, I think it's 50 questions.
Yeah, it's bunk.
And the way it's scored is, this is how I was told to do the Wonderlic. And there's guys that I trained with that went to Harvard, and there's guys that were at Arizona State University, right? So we have a whole bit different demographic of intelligence that I was working with when I was training for the Combine. This is how they explain it to everybody. If the question is longer than 3 lines, guess, circle one in, and go to the next one. It's all about how fast you can answer questions and get as many okay, I know that answer real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Get that in and out. So the Wonderlic to me, I know CJ Stroud's catching a lot of flack right now because his Wonderlic score was, below average, and that is, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see how that translates. It might be a little bit more different for a quarterback than an offensive lineman, but I can't imagine that my Wonderlic score was much better than his. And I had a great career, and I was able to absorb the game at a high level. So, the Wonderlic it's more like a Fugazi. Like the Combine in general is one big Fugazi that we get to see on TV. The guys running in their underwear and stuff. All these DMs, all these coaches know exactly what you're going to do on that field. Now, you might run a little faster, a little slower, whatever, but they really want to learn about you in those 15 minutes in the train station, in those official meetings. That's what the Combine's really all about.
Yeah, I love that.
Taylor Lewan with us on 3HL. Let's go back to the 2014 NFL Draft. You go 11th overall to the Tennessee Titans. How did you consume the draft? What were you doing? Who was calling you? Like, did you think you were going to go somewhere else, and then how did it finally end up with the Titans calling you and taking you?
Yeah. So the week of the draft, this is back when, I can't believe I'm saying back when, I'm 31 years old. I feel like
Welcome to the front porch, Taylor.
Yeah, Don says that every day.
It's so crazy. I really think, like, I remember last year being year 9 with the Titans being like, yo, I feel like I'm in year 2. This is just wild. And dudes are like, old head. And you're like, whoa. But back in my day, 2014, it was at Radio City every single year. This is before they started doing the big tour that they're doing every single year. And it was awesome, man. They put us up in the best hotel I've ever been in at that time. You know, they treat you like royalty. You go into these amazing things to give back to the community. You go to these hospitals and meet with these kids that are just in such an adverse situation, and it warms your heart. And then the day comes up that, you know, you put the fit on, you got the suit ready. I had Elevate do my suit, and they got me all done up. I'm feeling myself. I go to the green room, and I really did believe the Monday before the draft, the Atlanta Falcons took a plane, flew to Scottsdale, Arizona, where I was staying. They're like, hey, if you're there at 6, brother, have your bags packed. And I'm thinking to myself, I will be there at 6. What are you talking about? Just call my number. So I'm sitting in the room, and I'm excited, but then as soon as you walk in the green room, dude, it's nerves. It's like 8 Mile, Slim Shady, Lose Yourself is playing. Like, you're literally like, there's literally vomit on your sweater already type stuff. And then the draft starts, dude. First pick, Jadeveon Clowney. And as Jadeveon Clowney gets picked, I take a napkin out and I take it out and I take a Sharpie and I wrote down every single player that was drafted before me. The second pick of the draft, Greg Robinson. And it's like, you know, at that time, everyone's so stoked. Greg Robinson is now in prison for transporting marijuana between country borders. So that's all good. So I guess we outlasted him. So I'm getting more and more mad as, like, offensive lineman gets taken. I think he was 3 overall, actually. Offensive lineman gets taken at 3, and I'm already mad because I'm like, dude, I know I'm better than this guy.
Yeah, no,
and
he was 2. You were right. He was 2.
Yep.
Yeah, he was 2.
Yeah.
And then 6 comes up, and I'm like, here we go, dude. I'm about to be a dirty bird. Catch me out in Buckhead, dude. Flower Branch right around the corner, 45-minute drive. I'm about to be looking crazy in this uniform. Then all of a sudden the phone starts ringing, and my jaw drops. 2 tables down, Jake Matthews gets the call. Now, when you're in the green room, they're very serious. Like, hey, when you're sitting here, you cannot get up from the green room. Do not get up because we need to keep cameras on you guys at all times, blah, blah, blah. The minute I see Jake pick up that phone and the announcement happened of Jake Matthews, 6 overall pick by the Atlanta Falcons, I get up and I book it in this hallway. I take a hard left. I'm walking down the hallway. Now, in this hallway, there is Rihanna, the dad from Modern Family, and Drake. And now I met Rihanna the day before. I'm not joking. I met Rihanna the day before, and your boy went in there talking about blue cheese and how much I hate blue cheese. And if blue cheese was a person, I'd commit first degree.
It sucks. Blue cheese sucks.
Laughing, dude. She was showing me her umbrella. She was so excited. She was laughing. Her face lights up. Her face lights up like she's looking at me like we're about to be boys. I am not joking when I say this. Rihanna looks at me. You see her eyes recognize. I think to myself, not now, Riri. And I take a hard right, and I go into the bathroom, and I look in the mirror. I'm like, dude, your whole life's a lie. Like, everything you thought you were going to go 6, you're probably not going to even get drafted. They tricked you. I feel like I'm part of, like, that movie that Jim Carrey's in, the Truman Show, where everyone's just filming my life. The doubt and insecurity that went through my head was insane.
Wow.
So I gather myself. I come back up. I sit down. My family's making terrible jokes. It's just pissing me off even more. And, draft number goes by, 7 goes by, 8 goes by, 9 goes by. Now 10's there, and it's the Detroit Lions. Now, we all know how I left Michigan. I had an assault case pending. It was kind of like we finished our Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, and we got donkeyed by Kansas State. The bus left without me before I even got dressed. I was like, I guess I'm already in Arizona. It is what it is. So there was I just did not want to go back to Michigan. So I was like, please, God, Detroit, don't get me. They take Eric Ebron. Now, double-edged sword, right? I didn't go top 10, but I'm happy I didn't go to Michigan. Then 11 comes, and I'm like, there's no way 11 is going to take me. Because you guys had Michael Ruse and Michael Orr.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way. I even almost didn't go on a visit here because there's no point in me going. Why would I fly across the country from Arizona? And they end up calling. And I cannot tell you the amount of anger I had when I picked up that phone because I legit, I was just in a whirlwind. And it goes by so slow on TV, but it's truly a blink of an eye. And you're like, man, it happened that fast, huh? And you're walking on stage, you're shaking Roger Goodell's hand, you're showing the jersey. But the whole time I'm just thinking, man, I am pissed at these 10 other teams. Now, thankfully, the Titans took me. I don't think I would have had the career I had at Atlanta or the Rams or Tampa Bay or any other the other teams I thought I would have went to, because Nashville is really that melting pot that allowed me to kind of be my own personality. And instead of being like, hey, try to act different, they just allowed me to be myself, and it truly worked out. So I am forever indebted to the state and the city of Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow.
That's dope.
That's fascinating.
I mean, people can say what they want, but I mean, you're so right. Like, you've always been you. You know what I mean? And I think that's an important message for like a lot of these young dudes that feel like they need to put on a face that's not them, you know? And
it's so, it's such a hard thing to do, right?
Yeah.
When you're so young. And I did this my senior year at Michigan. I tried to be the All-American boy. Like, shaved face, the whole thing, like try to act a certain way. And it just ends up biting you. And there's this Brian Callen, he's a comedian. He talks about this, like, when you're not living true to yourself, there's a voice in the other room that's kind of knocking, and you can ignore it for so long, but eventually those knocks get louder. And that's what it felt like to me. I did that, I think, my second year at Tennessee as well, where it was like Wiz and Hunt wanted me to act a certain way and kind of be, the rah-rah captain guy. And I was like, all right, he drafted me, so I was like, anything you need. But the whole time it just felt so disingenuous.
Yeah.
And the minute you're able to take off that, like, I got to stop worrying what people think about me and just kind of be yourself, man, it's great when it goes well. Now it sucks on the other end when it doesn't go well, because you can be super off-putting and then people are like, this guy sucks anyway, and then you don't play well, and then it can go a whole different way. But I was very lucky, because I do not think another city would have taken my personality and been okay with it. You know, all the BS on the sidelines, shooting a bow and arrow at Josh Norman, getting in Richard Sherman's face, overwhelming penalties that obviously hurt the team at certain points, chugging beers off catfish. Like, it's all, if you think back on it, it's so much. But it's also like, man, I would have got cut like 3 years into this thing if I was at the New England Patriots. Am I right? There's no chance I would have made it. So like I said, dude, I absolutely love this city so much. I remember when I got cut, I literally, it's like story time with LaWanda. I'm really taking all your guys' time.
No,
when I got cut, Rand walked in. It's the second time I ever saw Rand. I talked to him in Stretch's office. Stretch is Vrabel's secretary. You guys know Stretch.
Yep.
And Rand comes and sits down, daps me up, and I kind of look like, I go, all right, so what's the deal? And Brave's like, hey man, like, we just kind of gotta move away from the contract. And I was like, is there anything I have to sign, or what do we go from here? He's like, no man, that's just it. And I was like, guys, I appreciate you so much. Big hugs all around. Brave gave me a big hug. Rand just met him, give him a big hug, and it's like, dude, there's no love lost at all, because what a magical, unbelievable time it was. I'm living in a movie. Still to this day, I've had an incredible 4 months of 2023, and I owe it to the Titans. I truly do. So it's been amazing. And talking to you guys, I remember sitting a year before, sitting with y'all, singing my swan song about how I love this team and I hope I don't get cut, blah, blah, blah. Hindsight's 2020. They probably should have cut my ass, dude. I mean, I get hurt the second week of the season. My God, right? But, I mean, it's the relationships you're able to have and able to be yourself in this city that makes it so special. So whoever gets picked here, whether it's 11, earlier or later, they're going to have a hell of a time here.
Taylor, did you understand what you would be pioneering, especially for offensive linemen? Like, you see that on the defensive line a lot, guys being showing personality and all the branding and everything that comes with it. But now you're starting to see, after you come out like this and had a career the way you did, you see a lot more offensive linemen more comfortable in their skin, speaking to the media and just standing alone. You know, you guys travel in packs when you talk about offensive line, but it's okay to stand alone. But did you know you were going to pioneer that movement?
You know, I didn't know I was gonna pioneer anything. And sitting back now, like, I could definitely break the old ego out and be like, yeah, dude, that was all me. But there's dudes like, David Bakhtiari. He's another guy that he's got a great personality, and you catch him at the Milwaukee Bucks games after me, chugging beers at the game and stuff like that. And so there are guys that did that. There were just guys that were not afraid, but like just offensive line. And you know how it is, man. Like, offensive line are be seen, not heard. When I came in my rookie year, it was Chris Spencer and Michael Roos, both 10-year vets, both guys with their own stories that had their careers the way they went, that were, they were really respectable. And they were like, basically told me, do not speak unless spoken to. You know me, I'm not a great listener. I don't follow very many rules. So I was out there saying whatever, talking to whoever, and these guys were rolling their eyes at me. And I thought for the longest time, Michael Roos hated my guts. I was like, man, he must have just despised me. And, it's cool now to see offensive linemen be who they are. Because, dude, when you're in that room with those boys, and it's like, yeah, it's the most, people don't really realize it. Oh, you play in the NFL, you're a big boy, you're an offensive lineman. You kind of not necessarily respect the position, but it's the greatest room you could possibly be a part of. The camaraderie that you're able to obtain is the best fraternity on the face of the earth, dude. It's amazing, and it's special for me to even being mentioned, like you're saying, pioneering, to allow these gentlemen to feel more comfortable about being more in the spotlight, because they all deserve to be in the spotlight. They deserve to have their personality shown, and that's awesome. Like that fires me up that dudes are kind of showing who they really are. Because I would see, Jordan Roos do something like, man, if he would just do that in public, that'd be hilarious. And now he's getting a little more talkative. He doesn't look like a serial killing Viking anymore. Like he's just kind of like, he's got a good little personality about him, and it's fun, man. It's a beautiful time. So I'm stoked for these guys that are kind of coming out and having a little more fun.
You said you had a great career and you used the past tense. Are you done officially?
No, I'm not done. I've luckily with the career that I've had, when I speak about my career, I talk about the Tennessee Titans, and it's the same conversation that we had a year ago, a year and some changes. There is a reason why I stuck with Tennessee for so long, and it's one because of my playing abilities. Another one was the personality that gelled with the city. And I feel so weird. I feel borderline uncomfortable. And I play the game on Twitter or whatever when people put me in a Steelers uniform or a Patriots uniform or a Bengals uniform. And it's like, hey, yeah, that looks kind of cool. Oh, man, Tiger Sharks would be sweet. Oh, a Dallas Cowboys star in my head. That'd be dope. That's America's team. It just feels so odd for me to, not be a part of the Tennessee Titans and not, go to the same facility I have for 9 years, close to 10 years, and be with the same people. And, I don't want to go somewhere where I have to try to be, reestablish myself and all that. So right now I'm enjoying my time. My knee's getting healthier and healthier, and I'll make that decision. I'll have to make it in the next couple of months for sure, whether or not I want to play. But man, I would just, and this is for the players that are listening, all the NFL players or college players, like, do not think like I think, because this is not how you should think in the NFL. Like, loyalty is a ridiculous concept when it comes to the NFL. You are your brand, and you need to go and get paid and get whatever you need to go. You don't need to listen to fans or nothing. But for whatever reason, that's just how I feel about the Tennessee Titans, man. I just absolutely love them, and I love you guys, and I love the fans, and I would feel so weird. Like, could you imagine me playing for the Houston Texans?
Ugh, hell no. No.
Yeah, you guys like, hey, you play Indianapolis, and I'm playing left tackle next to Quentin Nelson. Like, hell no. I would never, ever do that. Even if they called and said, here's $1 bajillion. Well, if it was $1 bajillion, because it's a made-up number, I would definitely say yes, and you guys have to eat that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just couldn't do that, because I don't know why. I hate that. I don't like how the loyalty aspect of me, but I mean, it's paid off for this long. So there's a lot to think about.
Hey, real quick, just one more, because he mentioned Richard Sherman.
So Taylor Lewan,
guys, I have all the time in the world. I have all the time.
We don't, Taylor.
So Taylor Lewan has the official record longest commercial-free interview in 3HL history, and we've been on since January of 2010.
Yep.
This might be the second longest commercial-free interview.
Let's go. We'll do a yearly appearance. I love it.
Yes.
That's right.
What was your question?
Okay,
Babs?
the last one, just a quick one. What'd you say to Richard Sherman during that little interaction?
Oh, that's a tough one. You should have asked me about Josh Norman today, because I don't remember what I said to Richard, but I do remember. There's nothing I could say on the radio, because it was all F-bombs and and all that. But I remember looking in the corner and just seeing Marcus run, and that hit, he was like 1 or 2 steps out of bounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, there is no way that this man's going to walk away from the sideline without hearing something. And you saw Jarrell Casey start getting in his face, a couple of guys, but I weaseled my way in there, dude, as if I had the map to get through to him, and I was, very, very over the top with him there. And I like Richard. I met him the year before at the Pro Bowl. He's an outstanding individual. But you know how about his on-field persona? Like, that's not going to fly here, buddy. Especially a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, my God.
Especially
Quarterback ever
Marcus.
gets hit like that.
Like the nicest guy ever.
The nicest guy ever. If I were to do that situation again, if I blinked right now and I was reliving that, I would have swung on Richard Sherman and I would have got ejected from that game. I'm
Do
not
you remember?
I like Richard.
You came on 3HL not too long after that, and Blaine Bishop said, "Hey, Taylor, man, if something happens like that, just go to the middle of the field and sit down." And what did you do? A couple weeks later,
we played the Denver Broncos 2 weeks later.
Yes, and you went to the middle of the field and sat down.
Yeah, yes, dude, because Harry Douglas, that idiot, he goes and cuts Chris Harris Jr. And then Aqib Talib is like John at Harry. And then, sure enough, dude, the same area of our sideline, that big fight goes out, and I can see Ben Jones. I see Ben Jones, his head's looking back and forth, left and right as fast as possible. He's looking for me.
Yeah.
He's like, we can't, like. And I think I was ejected. It might have been the same year or maybe the year after. I was ejected at the Packers game for touching a ref. And Ben sees me, and I'm on, like, the 40-yard line, like, trying to go crisscross applesauce. It was a little tight because I'm in the middle of the game, but I was, like, had my legs up and everything. I was like, no way, dude. I've always enjoyed the over-the-top dumb theatrics that are probably too, like, don't do this. Like, John Robinson would call me in his office all the time, and he'd be like, hey, man, could you just stop with the WWE stuff? Could you just stop doing that so much? And I'm like, John, let me get a couple a year. And he would laugh. He'd be like, all right, I just don't want to know about it. I don't know what you're doing. Just go ahead and do whatever you want.
Yeah, WWE might be a future path for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor, they're killing us, so we got to go. But hey, man,
you slid by the boom boom room too, Taylor. We're gonna get you in there though.
We'll do that next time.
Yeah, I was in it last time. I thought we can't do the boom boom room.
Yeah, no, we can't. I don't think we got enough time. But guess what? We're gonna make it happen. Look, see, Hunk said no slay.
I'm down. We can do. We guys. I'm available. Just literally have my phone number. Brenton, you texted me today. We're good. Call me whenever. I love you guys.
I love you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Good luck. All right.
See y'all.
Thanks, Taylor.
Taylor. Bussing with the boys. How about that?
That's it. That's how you close it out.
NFL analyst Taylor Lewan. All right, we got to go. We're way late.
Really good.
Good night. God bless.
Yes. See ya.
Go up to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, and you can get it done now, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever you need to do. Go see my friends at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. They will hook you up if you're thinking about a Jeep with this beautiful weather. They've got you covered with a tremendous selection on the lot, and, man, Jeeps carry their value. Just go ask them about it. They want you in the vehicle that's right for you, so no pressure at all. And that's what will happen. Go ask your questions. They'll have the answers for you. Take your test drive. Go inside. They'll help make the numbers work, and it'll be that easy. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, and about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online. GuptonMotors.com is the website. All the dealership inventory is there. All of the dealership information is there as well. That's GuptonMotors.com. 3450 Tom Austin Highway, 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. More of us coming up next, right, Huck?
That's right. Brought to you by Awaken 180. This is also your goodbye song, so let's go.
Big props to Taylor Lewan. Man, you could say a lot of things about that guy, but say this, he's honest. True,
every bit of
true to himself.
We'll ride with it all day long.
Knows who he is. That's a beautiful thing, and we appreciate it. If you missed that interview or came in part ways, make sure you check out the podcast, 1045thezone.com. Later, good night, God bless.
See you. Locked and loaded, people. You waited to the end of the show. People in the chat asking about the parlay. What we going to bet on? Well, me and Yorl are here to bring it to you, right, with Superbook.
Mike Vrabel talking about the parlay yesterday at an event.
True.
Everybody knows what's up, and you will too. And this is how you participate. You participate with us, and you do it with the Superbook Sports app. Get it where you get your apps. Superbook.com online to wager. Got some NBA games going on tonight. Big slate dog.
Yes, we do, and we got hockey too.
Hockey.
Yeah, you got a bet you want to place now? Yes, I'm hopping in on this one. Thanks to Todd, Father. You got something you want to throw out there right now, or you want to go and go with the parlay?
Well, let's do the parlay and I'll think about it.
All right, here we go. NBA, Golden State versus Sacramento. Going money line, Sacramento Kings. The Knicks versus the Cavs. I'm going Cavs money line. And the Lakers and the Grizzlies. I'm going the Grizzlies to cover the 4.5, people. Yes, indeed. Also, hockey. Got a little hockey right here. Seattle Kraken versus Avalanche under the 6. The Panthers versus the Bruins in the closeout game over the 6. And also add that into the Bruins winning money line. So that'll give you plus 376. And as far as the NBA goes, that'll give you plus 469. So let's get to it.
I'm diving in on the NBA. I
like
like all three of those.
Like that?
Yeah. And you know me, I like to bet individually.